on to Discord. Okay, we are live, by the way. That's not. This is the thing. Live for the second part of our limited set review. Uncommons. Did you know there's an arena open yesterday and today?
I did know that.
I did not know that. Classic, I keep scheduling things over arena opens unintentionally. Okay, is that? Then let's also remember to ping out on Discord this time. Now it's going live again for part 2. Uncommons. Okay. No thanks. Okay. And I should also pop out chat. That is. Okay. Good morning, Nicole. I think there's maybe an ad running now, so it might be wise to wait like a minute. Oh, as we wait a minute, I'll fix the stream title so that it says exclamation mark grades in it. Any updated thoughts from last time? Any updated thoughts on any of the commons?
No. I guess I look back at what we said for OTJ. Seems like it's according to 17 land stats, we overrated black in the set review, especially me, and underrated white. But we really nailed that green was by far the best color.
To be fair, I think that
That's
black is better
usually
than
what you're heard out.
to be fair, I think that
Okay,
black is better
cool.
than what 17 lands like claims.
Yeah, so what do you think the second best color in the set is?
Black. Like
Okay,
I think in OTJ it was like green and then black.
cool. So then actually I was right and you were underrated black.
Maybe.
And we also said that blue is the worst. 17 lands also seems to think blue is the worst, but 17 lands kind of always says that. So
I think that red is the worst in OTJ, and blue is. I like green, black, blue, white, red is my ordering.
okay,
Maybe a weird ordering,
that
but.
is closer to the ordering I had. And so,
So what you're saying is that like your method of like actually giving cards grades like you strongly believe
no,
is better than my method of giving out random numbers.
I wasn't trying to like rub it in, but that is true. Yeah.
No. I'm saying that to be clear.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Looks like we're back. So yeah, welcome back everyone. This is day 2 of our Bloomborough set review. This time uncommons. So last time we did all of the gold uncommons and all of the commons, ending with this lovely changeling loop your deck card. Or by lovely I mean probably not that playable. And today we're going to move on to all of the uncommons. And as always, we will ignore all of the rares. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
this is a nice self-contained set. Just 181 cards for us to review, and we're done.
yeah, there's no bonus sheet or anything. No bonus sheet. There's like some special guests, I guess, but like they got rid of the list. Nice and clean. Okay. Um, so I guess without further ado, let's jump in. I think it's your turn, Julian, technically.
This is Lupin Flower Village. It's a land, so there's going to be a land of all 5 colors for this. It taps for colorless, and it also taps for white, but you can only spend that mana to cast a creature spell. And it has 1 and a white, tap, sacrifice the Blue Flower Village. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a bat, bird, mouse, or rabbit card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random. So all of these lands are going to care about the 4 creature types that are popular in that color in some way or another.
Yeah, in fact, I think it's pretty hard. Like in your white deck, all of your white creatures should be one of these types. I guess there's some creatures that are essentially typeless in the set. Like I know there's a skunk in black, for
Yes.
example, where like that there's no other skunks in the set. But like the vast majority of your white creatures will be one of these types. But like obviously maybe you're white black, and then you have
Yep.
like some squirrel in your deck that's mono black, and then this wouldn't find that. But like mostly this says look for a creature in your white decks.
Yeah. So, so I think like conservatively, you could say you have 8 hits in your deck, and
That's
then
very
this,
conservative, I think.
yeah, and then it's still 77% to hit. If you have 10, you have 85%, and I think it's very possible you could have 13 or something, at which point you have 93% hit.
Yeah, I think like I think the right way to think of the activation is like, legitimately like just get a creature from your top 6 like happens most
Yeah,
enough of the time that like it's just like, draw a card with mostly upside, slight downside, like mostly upside in that like you're guaranteed to hit a creature or like the card you draw, if you draw it, will be a spell, but like it can't be, for example, a removal spell, right? Or well, I guess there could be
yeah.
creatures that are removal spells, but yeah. Um,
And then how do we feel about the way this taps for mana? Um,
that's an interesting thought. So like colorless lands are a huge cost, right?
yeah.
But obviously this does tap 4 white mana. It's just like so I think some of the question will be like what what white cards are you playing, right? Like if you have a lot of non-creature white cards, this becomes a lot worse. But
So I guess
if like most of your white cards are creatures, then this is just,
I encourage you to play a bunch of.
you cut out.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry this keeps
Okay.
happening.
All right. Okay. Sorry. I think this card encourages you to play creatures in multiple ways.
Yeah.
Um, and okay, one card I can imagine it being an issue is the 2 white +2/+1 instant.
Yeah, yeah.
Right,
That
that's a
that
double
that's
pips non-creature.
that's an interesting point. Yeah. It's like so a lot of non-creatures so like non-creatures in the form of removal, it's like fine if you can't cast those early, generally, right? Like well, depending on your
Yeah,
deck, but like
and banishing light, it's okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So like a lot of cards this will just be fine with like being a colorless land for them, but like some things like you mentioned the 2 white anthem are actually going to be like kind of rough if you can't, if you can't pay white into that with this card. Um, so yeah, I think overall this like, this is, I want to say it's a higher cost than being tapped, but like
no,
on average,
no, I don't think so.
you don't think so? Okay, well
I think,
specifically, there's
I mean,
like,
I like colorless. I agree is more.
oh no, not.
Like I will.
Okay, you cut out again. I'm sorry.
I didn't really say much though.
Okay.
Uh, I think I'm like always playing this in my white deck. If it has a high cost, it has a high cost. And then if my deck doesn't have like that two white common, it's probably a pretty high pick too.
Yeah. So to be clear, when I say that this is a higher cost than being tapped, I'm not saying that this is like a high cost. I'm saying that being tapped is a pretty low cost, all things considered. Specifically because there like
Yeah.
aren't tap lands in this set, right? Like there's literally one tap land in this set, I think. Okay, I guess
Okay.
I guess there's Fabled Passage at rare, but like the only tap land is Uncharted Haven. So like because this like a tap land would be one of your like one or two tap lands, that would be a low cost, but instead we have like worse mana, which the set already has bad mana, right? Like there already isn't that much good mana in the set.
Okay, but I still think a lot of games you're just not going to notice that this card isn't the plains.
I think it depends deck to deck. Like
Yeah.
definitely, I think if I had the two, if the two white card was like very important to my deck, like I would make sure to
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
like nine white sources other than this, for example, right? And that like
Yes.
makes
That would be a real.
yeah that makes um that 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 makes the mana just harder, right? And the other thing is that this just gets worse in multiples. Obviously, it's an uncommon, so you probably won't have that many, but
Yeah.
like
But there's one in every color, so you
yeah,
might.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nicole, I would not say that this is just an 18th land. Like I don't think that's the right way to think of cards like this. Like
This is
I,
a
I
plains. This is very much a plains.
yeah, like I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just like it's not that this is an 18th land. It's just that like if you have a lot of ways to like turn your lands into other things, then you're more likely to play more lands. But like I would not. I would generally not play 18 lands just because I have this card. You know.
Yeah. And like, I'm not planning on using this effect very early. It's 3 mana.
Yeah. Like
So
turn
it's.
5, turn 6 kind of thing.
I mean, it's like it's like a mana. Yeah,
So
I don't know. I mean, to me, colorless and being tapped are pretty close to begin with, but colorless is worse. And then this, I would say, crosses over, but hard to say.
yeah. The big thing I just want to like really stress is like pay attention to what spells you need to cast and pay attention to whether you have enough
Yeah,
sources for them, right? So what are we giving this
yeah.
though? Like
Um, I, I want to say 7.
yeah, I think I would say this kind of land is premium.
Yeah, it kind of almost makes me lower on the two white, or
I don't
it's like really the.
like I feel like the two white card is like powerful enough that like you're fine just not playing like playing fewer copies of this or being more mono white. Like this set might be a more monocolor set than usual.
Yeah,
You know,
maybe you want to be more. Yeah, I think
like there are literally hybrid cards,
that makes
right?
sense.
There
Really.
are four more white
Yeah,
commons. Sorry, three more white commons than we would usually get, right? Kind of.
yeah. Actually, I could really see that. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Anyways,
Okay, on to the
Flowerfoot,
non-white.
Flowerfoot Swordmaster. So I've grouped all of these with the land at the start of the like colors, but yeah. So this is white for a 1/2 Mouse Soldier with Offspring 2 and Valiant. Which to remind people, it's whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability you control for the first time each turn. Uh, Mice you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. So it works very well with go wide mice, which like interestingly rabbits are the go wide archetype in the set, and this only pumps your mice. So like if you're a lot of the go wide stuff in this set, like you won't actually be able to affect it with this. So this doesn't, unfortunately, this doesn't actually slot into the rabbit deck as well. Besides just being, it does make two bodies for three
Yeah,
mana, right? Um,
I'm not expecting to like have a huge team I'm pumping. I'm expecting if I have two other mice, that's already a lot.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
just playing a red white deck.
So okay, so if you think about it, this is like this could be a one mana, kind of like a 2/2, right? That like gives a one or two things plus
Yeah,
one plus O, right? Or you could be a
yeah,
three mana, kind of like a 2/2 and a 2/1, right? Obviously, this is
yeah,
like assuming that you are triggering Valiant, though. Like the
yeah.
idea is that you would be,
And like you might have more mice. So I
yeah.
think it's very good.
So another thing is just like this when you cast it for the offspring mode, which like generally I assume that you want to be casting it for the
Yeah,
offspring mode, right? That gives you two valiant targets, right? Like two things
right.
that
You
you
could
want to
actually get
target.
those.
Yeah, yeah. So like this gives you a lot of like uh valiant triggers if you want them or if you
Yeah,
have them.
and I think you can totally play this on turn one if your hand is good.
Yeah, definitely.
Um,
Oh,
so
I'm just
I,
now imagining. Consider playing turn three. This. So you play you offspring it, make a one as well, and then turn four you play the rabbit with offspring, and then you target both of them. So
okay.
they become a 2/3 and a 2/2
Oh,
that both get +2 +0.
oh, I forgot that offspring guy targets.
Yeah,
You can,
so it becomes a
yeah,
4/3 and a 4/2 attacking on turn four. Plus like all your mice got +1 +0, +2 +0 as well. Like if you had
wow.
other mice. That was a pretty good curve.
4-3 and 4-2, and that's just a 3 into 4.
Yeah, that's just a
I
3 into
mean,
4.
yeah. So I think in a mice deck, or even a deck with like that sort of thing, this is an 8, but maybe overall it's 7.
I'm thinking like in the right deck, this is I think more than an 8. This is like
Okay.
really strong, right? Like specifically I'm thinking if you like can consistently like at when I say consistently I mean like at least have one good turn of targeting both this and the offspring it makes.
I think that's asking for a lot. Like
Just like I don't know, like imagine you just have an equipment, right?
there's only two equipment and they're both uncommon, and only one of them's good for that.
Okay, yeah, but imagine you have that equipment, right? Or like
Okay. That
Nicole
would do it.
mentions that you can use Hammer Hand to target two things technically, but that's like not that. I feel like that's not that good. But like there's some. I know there's at least one combat trick that like targets two things at a time, right? Like there's various things that can target two things at once.
All
So
right.
I don't
I mean,
know.
so, but that's still like, I'm sure those cards are red or something. It's still one color pair.
Yeah, but like
But
I
I'm
feel
still
like
gonna play this card in my rabbit deck.
I feel
I
like
will play
this.
this.
Yeah, like I feel like the ceiling on this card is just like so high that I want to give it at least an 8.
Maybe that's a good way to approach it.
Like I think this is the best card we've seen for
Yeah, I guess like
Mice
it's not
deck.
like we sort of are off the birds idea, right? So maybe we like don't even care how this goes in blue white deck. Although honestly, it is good with the birds because the birds often target a creature without flying.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe this is just good in every deck.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. I'm good with 8 then.
Like I honestly could see this pushing 9, but Wait, okay. I mean,
Yeah,
okay.
and
I
you're
actually
the right Boros deck. It probably is enough.
let's think about this.
Yeah.
So this is better than every common, right? Like we're first picking this over every common probably.
I'm not sure about that. I think like the white common is more generically powerful,
Okay.
like
Okay, then
before
I'm very
the
comfortable
three
giving
or
this
four.
an 8.
Yeah, I mean it might be better, but
Yeah. But it's
Sure.
at least close. So
All right. Yeah. Seasoned Warren Guard. Single white for a 1/2 rabbit warrior. Whenever a seasoned warrior guard attacks while you control a token, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn.
one
Wow.
mana 3/2.
I get a token on turn 2.
Kinda.
I could play the carrot cake.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah, the carrot cake on turn 2. What do you mean token? Anything else? I mean, I can make an offspring on turn 3 or something. Or maybe.
Yeah, I mean, this is just like good stats.
Yeah, but not amazing stats. Because the work you need.
Okay, what would a 1 mana 3/2 be? That would be like.
Oh, that would be so stupid. That would be like, yeah, 7 or 8.
That would probably be an 8. Would be my guess.
Yeah. But I think like a 1 mana 2/2 would be like maybe 5.
I'm gonna say that this is closer to a 7 than a 6.
Okay.
Would you give it?
6.
Okay, that's pretty expected, I guess. Brightblade Stout. This is a typeless creature. 1 and a white for a 2/2 Weasel Soldier. What's a weasel? It has first strike and lifelink, and that's it. 2 mana, 2/2 first strike lifelink. I say that's it, but that's a lot, honestly.
Yeah, I'm confused. Oh, maybe the joke. This lets you get your life gain trigger before your other thing has to deal combat damage.
Wait, why are you confused? I don't know. This is just like
This card is too simple
too
for an
simple.
uncommon.
Wait, okay. They've been making simple cards. Like, have you been paying attention? This set has been like simplify everything. The set.
Well, not quite this far.
Yeah, okay, but okay, this is just a very clean design, except for the fact that it has
Yeah.
first strike on your opponent's turn, which isn't something that they've been doing recently.
Yeah, no, first strike is certainly uncommon these days.
Exactly.
Uh,
That's why it's uncommon.
yeah. Um, did you hear what I was saying about it letting you have your life total
Yeah.
change before before combat damage? Yeah.
Yeah, there's like one card that cares about that,
There's only
right?
one. All right. Fine.
Something like that. Maybe there's more, but like yeah, obviously this is great.
Okay. Of
I think this is just a great card overall, right? Like this
course.
this is a
Of course.
monster in combat. This cannot be beat except by a
It
3/2.
certainly can be beat. But yeah, if you pump this up, whew, gross.
Yeah. I don't
Okay.
know. This is like 8 territory for me. Like it's very
Yeah, it might be.
simple. It doesn't do anything like super fancy, but it's just like best in class. Right? Like best 2-drop basically.
Um,
It just like, out stats things by having 2 words
yeah.
in it.
I mean, normally I would call that like premium. This is a premium 2-drop, but like sometimes even the 2 drops worse than this are still premium.
I'm giving this an 8.
What's it? Yeah. Jolly Gerbils. Wow. This is also no types? What the heck? And maybe there are lots of creatures without types. Anyway, 1 and a white for a hamster citizen. It's a 2/3 with whenever you give a gift, draw a card. Okay. It's actually nice.
It was very good, right? Like
Yeah, that is very
most of the
good.
gift, like basically all of the gift spells, you're not sad to
You're
give the
kind of
gift
neutral
usually,
about whether you
right?
give a
Yeah,
gift.
yeah,
Like it's not actually a cost to give a gift. It's because you get something for that too, and then they balance it. So it's actually just you draw a card whenever you cast one of those gift spells.
yeah.
So it's like a edge one.
And it's a 2 mana 2/3 instead of a 1 mana 1/1, right?
Yeah, I mean it's another 8.
Well, no. This is like 9 or 10. Excuse me.
Okay, there aren't actually a zillion of these cards that give gifts.
Okay, let me fact check you on that. How much do you define a zillion to be?
I think if there were 18 below rare, that would be a zillion.
18 below rare has been called. Did you know that there were 17 below rare?
Yeah. That's why I said that.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
no, you're wrong. That's 16 below rare because this says gift
yeah.
item.
Because to this card. Yeah. So really nowhere close to a zillion. Uh,
I don't know. Like, I
anyway,
think
yeah.
I think that you take this card and you take cards that's like, okay, how many cards with adventure were there in like original Eldraine? That's something I'm curious about. Like just comparing, straight up comparing this to
I
Innkeeper,
bet
right?
I bet below rare there were like 25
Whoops, it's the wrong way of doing that.
or
Set Eldraine has oh, any
23.
type adventure?
Yep.
23, yeah. Okay. But like, I don't know. Innkeeper was a 1 mana 1/1. This is a 2 mana 2/3, right? Like,
I know.
and like Innkeeper was like a 10, right? Or maybe a 9. I forget exactly, but it was really strong, right? Am I remembering incorrectly?
Yes. I will say giving a gift we said it wasn't much of a cost, but giving the gift is still probably some cost. Like you had a choice, now you kind of don't have a choice. Now you have to get it. Right. Some of these cards like if you cast your combat trick that gives indestructible when you give a gift, okay. Like maybe now you're casting it and you didn't care about indestructible, but you're still giving them a food.
That is
So it is
completely
a little
fair.
bit of a
That is completely fair.
yeah.
So most of the gift cards are like you could probably make use of the extra thing. Like the indestructible one is like okay, that one like it's slightly harder to like always use the indestructible. Um,
Yeah.
right? But like, like the card draw spell. Okay, the card draw spell is not the best example because drawing four instead of drawing three is not the most impactful. And it costs more mana. But like the card draw spell,
Oh,
like
that was a oh yeah, okay.
yeah, that one taps and stuns, which you could always make use
Yeah.
of. Like the one the fight spell, right, where you like get a counter in
Yeah, get a
exchange for
counter.
giving a fish. Like you just always
Yeah.
do that if like that you can always make use of the counter
Right.
there.
And it's more minor there, but I think that's still always.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that this is the kind of card that you can like take it and like just take more gift cards that work well with it, and it's like very good.
I think you're gonna end up with like 4 gift cards in your deck.
I don't know. I think you can end up with more if you try.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna I these like synergy cards that can go nuts. I always am a little lower on you, so I call it an 8. It's
To be
still
clear, I'm giving
better
this
than
a
green mana.
9 not because of the synergy, but because it's also a 2 mana 2/3. Right? Like
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and like if it's in your pack one pick one, it's probably at least a 9. But when you pick a pack 3, it's like a 7 or something. Uh,
anyways,
yeah.
I think that's enough
Okay.
talking about gifting gifts. Okay, so Builder's Talent is one in the white for an enchantment class. So this is the first class we've seen. There's various of these at uncommon and rare. Is it one in each color at uncommon? I'm not exactly sure if that's correct, but it would make sense if it was.
Probably.
So how these work is they generally do something on ETB or like have some static effect. And then you can pay costs to level up. So in this case, to get it to level 2, you have to pay a white mana, and to get it to level 3, you need to pay 4 and a white. You can do this as a special action as or Special action? No, it's probably an activated ability.
I, I
Uh,
believe it goes on the stack.
yeah, okay. It
Yeah,
definitely goes on the stack, yeah. So it's an activated ability, and you know, you get when usually the class levels will either have some triggered ability of like when you level up to this level, do something, or it has some sort of like static effect, right?
the
Um,
static. Yeah,
this one is all triggers when it enters, when it becomes level 2, when it becomes level 3. Uh, yeah. Notably, this does
this,
not use counters. I don't think there's anything that says proliferate, but like you technically
yeah.
do not use counters to
Well,
track this. You just like
there
know
there is a rare class that would be much better if it had a counter
yeah,
in
yeah. Um,
it. Anyway,
anyways, uh, the first thing, this is 2 mana. When it enters, make a 0/4 white wall creature token with defender. So 2 mana, 0/4 wall. Um,
right.
Then you can pay 1 mana to level up to level 2. Whenever 1 white mana, whenever one or more non-creature, non-land permanents you control enter, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Okay,
Oh, mostly like food or
yeah, that's a
vanishing light.
slightly weird text, but yeah, food,
Yeah.
banishing light, more classes, right? And then,
Yeah, there's one in every color, and they're all called talent.
yes. And then level 3, you pay 4 and a white, and you get when it becomes level 3, you get to return target non-creature, non-land permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Okay, so this card is really on the non-creature, non-land theme, which is not well supported in the set.
No, how many non-creature, non-lands are there even? Like in this set? Uh, minus T creature uh is permanent.
Well, yeah, or like makes a food or whatever.
No, I'm thinking for the third mode, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like
Oh, okay. Yeah,
doing
yeah,
it for the first like I feel like if this is just level 2, it's not that good, right? Like you get a 0/4 wall that like
yeah.
maybe
So
puts a few +1/+1
in
counters on
white, the
this.
best thing you can get is banishing light by far.
Carrot cake.
And yeah, yeah. Uh, and there's a 4 mana black artifact, three
Okay, yeah,
mana
the form
blue
of the black
removal.
artifact is actually pretty good. Um, yeah, so the thing about banishing light is it doesn't go to the graveyard, right? Like usually you just play the banishing light from your hand and it's now on the
Yeah,
battlefield, right?
hopefully they don't tell. Yeah,
Yeah. So I honestly think that like it's banishing light doesn't shouldn't really count for level 3 very much unless you're self milling a lot, I guess. There is cash grab, which
yeah.
is
So
good with this, but um yeah, I
so
don't
I
know.
think level 3 is pretty minor as far as the value here. However, level 2 is enough for this to be a totally solid card to me.
Is it?
Uh, yeah, I'm assuming I'm gonna get a food or something at some point, and then I'm gonna get a counter or two, and then I paid 2+1 for an 0/4 and a counter. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, like my worry is that like how much food is there in white actually? Like let me actually figure this out. Oh, and Bloomborough. Like I think like this probably has a place in like white green when you where you have a lot of food, but like I feel like white barely has any food in this set.
It doesn't have any.
Yeah. Oh, there's the combat trick gifts some food, and then there's carrot
Right,
cake,
that doesn't
right?
count.
Hey, maybe
Cake
your
counts,
opponent will
but
gift you maybe your opponent will gift you a food.
oh yeah, that's true. Actually,
I mean, unironically, that does make it slightly
yeah,
better. Like your opponent will no longer gift you food as readily.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Hmm.
It's a weird one.
Yeah, this card's out of place. I think it's actually maybe only a 5 then.
Like my I guess my other problem with this is like when do you want to 0/4 wall, right? Like you need to be not aggressive. I guess you could maybe use this in the
Yeah,
Flyers deck. Or like maybe the
Yeah.
bat stack. I don't know.
Yes.
Hey, this is a creature without flying for your bird stack.
Yeah, but often you're like giving those like +1/+1 until end of turn. It's
Or
not very
giving
good when
them
you're
flying
0-4
until
defender.
end of turn. You
Yeah.
know.
It's an 0-4 defender. No, not exactly. That's what doesn't make sense about the Flyers act to me, because usually it's like, oh, I want to play defense on the ground, attack in the air, but then the synergy is not actually helping me play defense on the ground.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't know. I want to give this like I want
Yeah,
to
maybe it's
give
not
this a
even a 5.
pessimistic 5.
Okay, you talk me down to 4.
I'm glad. I thought about saying 4,
All right.
but
Yeah, not too late. Anyway, Feather of Flight is a 1 and a white for an aura with flash, enchant creature. When Feather of Flight enters, draw a card. Enchanted creature gets +1/+0 and has flying.
I mean this is strong. Like
Yeah.
triggers Valiant among other things. I mean, and also just like
Yeah.
we've seen like 2 mana aura draw a card, give a thing flying before. That's never been like that
But
amazing.
without flash or +1/+0.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And Flash and +1/+0 do a lot, especially
I
like
think
in
the
the
flash is
Flash
really
and
good.
yeah, in the Valiant space.
Yeah. Well, and just you ambush them if they attack.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, hmm,
You can also just use this to. You can also just use this as 2 mana Defiant Strike, right? To some extent,
yes.
right? And you can also use it as 2 mana like jump your thing, draw a card.
Yeah.
This
I
card
think
seems really good.
it's very possible to get a 2-for-1 out of this. Uh, yeah. So,
Mabel's Medal. Oh, this is the combat trick I was talking about. 1 in the white for an instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Up to one other target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So
okay.
the whole joke is double Valiant trigger, you know. But also it's just a pretty good
Okay.
combat trick, right? Like this can theoretically win 2
Yeah.
combats. Like theoretically this could be a 2-for-1, which is pretty huge.
I can't give something +3/+3, but I'll live.
No, you cannot give one thing +3/+3.
Yeah.
So there
So
we saw.
it is possible for this to kind of get stuck.
Sorry, what?
Yeah. It's kind of possible that the board state could line up where this sort of doesn't have anything to do.
That is true. Like
Yeah.
if you like if your opponent has like mono 4/4s and you have mono 2/2s or something. But even still, you could like at least the thing is like you're
Yeah.
probably getting enough value out of your Valiant triggers that like that's probably not the case, right?
I mean, that's only some white cards are valiant. But yeah.
Fair, fair.
Yeah.
But okay, okay. So as a point of comparison, do you remember the card Join Forces from DMU? I know you played that set.
Yes, in fact, I did play DMU. Wait, join. Is that what was that though?
Two in the
Oh, was
white.
that like a
It was 2 in the white instant plus 2 target creatures get +2/+2 untap them.
oh yeah. That wasn't very good.
That one was not very good, but I think that one was more because it cost 3 mana, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah,
it
no,
cost
that was the problem.
it cost 3 mana, and that wasn't what white was about. But like I think I bring it up because like despite it being like not very good, it was still like there were times it's the kind of card that's like kind of cheeky. Like it like has its moments, right? Like
Yeah, but
it,
it does a lot more than this.
eh, I'm not sure it
You have to
does.
have it really line up perfectly for the 1/1 to also get you something. Like without Valiant happening, I mean.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is a strong. I think this is just a strong effect. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if this were like, I wouldn't be surprised if the like combat trick in white was like something close to this, not in the Valiant set, right? Like if this were just like a common in some set, that didn't have
Yeah,
Valiant, and I would be like, okay, that's like slightly disappointing for a combat trick, probably, but like
yeah.
it has some uses. It's kind of nice. Um, but like in a combat trick, I don't know. Sorry, in a Valiant set, like, or I say Valiant set in a Valiant
I know.
archetype, I think
I
that's
think
enough for me to give it at least a 6.
I think it's still like even if you got some Valiant cards in your deck, you're probably often just gonna have one in play at a time. Obviously, Insane was like that one draw.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like ways to double trigger your Valiant have got to be pretty valuable. Like it's really hard to otherwise. I feel like.
Yes, but also there aren't. You often don't want to. Like it's you to trigger to
I don't
um
know. Like you say that okay, you say the +1/+1 is not likely to be that valuable, but like imagine you just throw the +1/+1 on your random like 2/2 that says whenever like Valiant Rummage, right? And you just get a free Rummage out of this. You know?
that would only happen if you had another creature that said Valentine.
No. I'm just saying like you're randomly playing
Oh,
your 2/2 with Valiant, and then you
like
attack, and then
you
they block in such a way you use the
okay,
+2/+2
you need
to
the
win the
2/2
combat.
somewhere else for
Yeah,
combat.
yeah.
The 1/1 is okay. But hold on, 2 mana, give a 2/2 and Rummage is actually not that amazing.
Well, it like deals 1 damage, one more damage
Oh,
per
you
turn.
attack with that one too?
Yeah, probably.
I don't know, Jason. I'm gonna say it's a 5.
I'm giving it an optimistic 6.
Yep. Parting Gust. White. For an instant, get attack fish. Alright. You exile target non-token creature if the gift wasn't promised. Turn that creature to the battlefield under its owner's control with a +1/+1 counter on it at the beginning of the next end step. So you can turn this thing into a fish, catfish for 2 mana, 2 white mana, or you can flicker probably your own thing and get a counter on it. Interesting.
Yeah, so okay, okay, first of all, white is a cost, right? The
Yeah.
white is pretty restrictive,
This
especially without fixing,
if you
especially
got
with
that
that
land.
land, yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, that said, this is one of the better versions of like exile their thing, they get a thing that we've seen, right? Like notably
Yeah,
the fish,
and the other effect is also usually bad.
yeah,
Like they often make cards with other effects and it's not good enough. But you combine them. Alright.
well, specifically, I wanted to point out that like usually a lot of the problem with things are like okay, turn their thing into a 1/1 with no abilities, right? Like for example, the blue auras, or
Untapped,
like
yeah.
like
You
destroy
can
like
jump right away.
the Ox card from OTJ, like it doesn't remove a blocker, they can still chop. This they can't chop, not immediately at
Yep.
least.
Yep.
So like I'm not completely out on this one.
Yeah, no, of course not.
White
It's
though.
still it's still weird enough that it probably won't fit in your deck fairly often.
I think that I feel like I would imagine playing this in a lot of decks that like don't care that much about the white, but like that is actually a big restriction.
Well, of course. And I mean, what are you gonna flicker? That's gonna be good.
I don't know, like imagine the like rabbit for 5 mana that like makes 2/1/1s. Um,
Yes, please. I will flicker that.
uh,
Um,
you could flicker what flickers in white? Have we seen another thing that's good to flicker in white? Don't mind me just scrolling up to the white cards real quick.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Oh, I guess there's like
There's
the
a
five
three, four,
mana
like it's a
creature.
counter.
Okay, I mean the other thing is just like flickering to save it from removal, right?
Yeah,
That always is a
yeah.
thing. Um, yeah, I don't know.
I will call it a 5.
That's what I was gonna give it. Nice.
Yeah, but it's an unusual 5.
Repel Calamity. 1 in the white for an instant. Destroy target creature with power or toughness 4 or greater. This is the set of like white removals, like restrictive white removal spells, getting like all of the possible restrictions or like all of the possible like catch-alls. Like
Unrestrictions, yeah.
yeah. The other one being
Yeah.
like attacking, blocking, or tapped. This one is power or toughness 4 or greater. Yeah.
And sometimes this card is like 3 mana but has another mode.
This is just 2 mana.
So this is pretty good.
If it's big at all, kill it.
Yeah. A lot of things aren't this big, but that's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
My suspicion is that like while many things aren't this big, the fact that
You can not care about those. Yeah.
the fact that it's like power or toughness is really nice because like a lot of times when you're getting attacked, like even the small creature decks will often have ways to make it their small creatures bigger. So like you can often like get something on attacks. Like for example, a combat trick, right? Like if they cast a combat trick into this. And also like when you're the one attacking, usually you care about big toughness things, right? Like if you have like a bunch of 3X's, then this
Yeah.
guarantees to remove relevant blockers. So yeah.
Might be premium.
It might be. I'm not sure. And like Destroy Evil was premium, so like there's precedent for like this kind of thing being
Yeah, this is
nice.
probably worse than Destroy.
Yeah, I assume Destroy Evil was a uniquely like good context for that card. I'm just surprised this
Uh,
doesn't say or mana value 4 or greater.
okay, yeah. I was just thinking like the modal was enchantment is actually kind of better than modal was the other power toughness.
There's like 4/2s in the set, you know.
I know, but
I'm gonna give this a tentative 7, and like I
this
expect
is
it to be good enough to be there, but oh no, we're losing Julian. Maybe Julian froze.
kind of an 8.
Okay, you froze and then I heard the word 8. Are you giving this an 8? Okay, you froze again. Unfortunate. I'm so sorry.
I'm not frozen.
Okay, we're back. What are you
Hello?
giving this? Did you say anything of consequence
Okay,
in the last 30 seconds?
I'm giving it a 7.
Okay,
I, I said I'm giving it a 7. Destroy Evil was actually probably an 8.
fair.
So I feel comfortable with it.
Okay. Oh, it's very flavorful that this does kill Calamity. That's a good point on the flavor of the card. No.
Calamity.
Uh, we're back.
Oh, okay. Can I read a card,
Okay,
Jason?
we're back now. Okay, great. Sorry, internet has been
All
blipping
right, I'm gonna read a
this
card.
minute. Okay, let's go.
Harvest Strike Host. 2 and a white for a 3/3 rabbit citizen. Whenever Harvest Strike Host or another rabbit you control enters, target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Then draw a card. This is the second time this ability has resolved this turn. Oh my god. You curve this into the 4-drop at common.
Yeah, I mean, also amusingly triggers Valiant, which is kind of funny for a rabbit.
Yeah. Or if you just like double spell this with another rabbit, you draw a card.
Yeah. Or if you just
Oh
play
my god.
curve this into Carrot Cake, you draw a card with your 2 scry 1s as well.
It's a 5 mana. Oh no, it's 4 mana. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
This card draws cards.
This is nuts. Yeah. I mean, it's a 3/3 that gives plus almost on ETB, just 4.
Yeah. Are we calling this like
Can
a
I give it a
9?
9?
Yeah, I think like clearly better than all
Yeah.
commons. Like that's like where that should land.
Jeez.
Mouse.
Every like that 4-drop
Yeah.
common was like
You cut out. You were saying something about the 4-drop at common.
yes, it was already good when we just read it on its own, and now it seems like it synergizes with every card in the set.
Yeah. Like
So
every single white card is like,
yeah,
please curve me into the like for the 3-drop of
yeah,
Osprey, the 4-drop.
yeah.
Okay, Mouse Trapper. 2 in the white for a 3/2 Mouse Soldier with Flash. Whenever it becomes the target of a spell or ability you control for the first time each turn, tap target creature an opponent controls. So,
Hmm.
Valiant Tapper. So, one amusing thing about this is that usually you can only Valiant on your turn, unless you're using
Yeah.
and,
The flash is kind of strange.
yeah, I think the Flash is just like a power boost, a bit of a power boost, you know. Trappers are sneaky; they can like, I don't
Sure.
know, they can be wherever in an
Yeah, but it's
instant.
not like you're surprising them with the actual ability. You're surprising just
No,
your 3/2.
generally not. I mean,
Yeah.
there might be something that's like whenever a creature ETBs like target something or other. Is it a flavor thing? I don't know.
Yes.
Maybe it's a
It,
flavor thing.
if it were a rabbit, it would work with the previous card.
That's true.
It's not a rabbit.
Yeah, I mean like repeatedly tapping down your opponent's things is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this can like get in for a lot of damage. I also like that it's a 3/2. Like I'm thinking specifically of the like the cycling tapper from Ikoria. You played Ikoria, right?
It was a 2/3.
Yeah, that one was a
2/3.
2/3.
Yeah.
And that one obviously like taps things on your opponent's turn, so they played more
It's very
defensively.
good.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
and obviously that one gets triggered more than this one. But like I like that,
Yeah.
it's a 3/2 to play with the fact that it is more of an aggressive tapper and not a like defensive tapper. You know.
Yeah. Okay. Is it premium? It
Is
might
it
not be.
premium? I feel like this might not quite get to premium, but like I feel like it depends.
Yeah.
Like this is the kind of card that's very feast or famine, where like if you're like aggressive, this card is really backbreaking. But if you're defensive, this card like doesn't do that much, right? So
For sure.
I want to
And
give it
like,
a.
I don't know. I said 6. You cut out.
I would also give it a 6. Um,
Great.
yeah,
All
like
right.
I think like the ceiling is higher,
All
but
right.
like
Now
whatever.
we have Strike Force, not Strike. Strike. 2 and a white for a 1/3 knight with flying, double strike, vigilance. Okay. What the
More
heck?
more keyword soup cards.
This is a wow. So how do I pump it up? How do I like it has flying, so can't target with my bird stuff. How am I pumping this up?
I mean, you could just give it like +2/+2 or something. I don't know, and hit for 6.
Oh, the wolf. Okay. That's very doable.
Oh, you could curve this into the 4-drop and give it +2/+2 and hit for 6.
I could do that, yeah. Huh. I could cast my 4-mana Ansem, hit for 6.
You could curve this into what was the name of this 4-drop? I don't know. It's some rabbit. It's
It's also
yeah. it's a 3-drop technically. Intrepid Rabbit, I think, is what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you could curve this into the green 4-drop. I give it +2/+2 in Vigilance and hit for 6. What I'm hearing is that this card deals 6 damage when it attacks.
Yeah, it does seem like it does a lot of damage. All right. I think it's good.
I mean, this card is very good, right?
I mean, yeah.
Like just
High vigilance.
even okay, even if you just think of it as like, like you never target
Vigilance
this with
is a
anything.
lot.
Yeah, Vigilance.
Yeah.
9?
Yikes. I don't know if I can do that.
9.
It's like it dies to 2 mana, deal 3.
Yeah, but it deals so much damage, right?
Oh, like it deals 6 sometimes, it deals 2 most of the time.
I don't know. You're not talking me below
I
8,
agree.
but I'm gonna give it a 9.
Okay, well, I said 8. What do you say?
9.
Okay.
Okay. 2-drop Cure. 2 in the white for a sorcery. Return up to 2 target creature cards, each with mana value 2 or less, from your graveyard to the battlefield. But if you gift a card, then you may return up to 3 creature cards. 3 target creature cards, each with mana value 2 or less, from your graveyard to the battlefield. So
This is another one where it's kind of hard to give the gift if you want to give the gift.
yeah, I mean, I agree. It's hard to give a gift if you don't have 3 things in your
Okay.
graveyard. But I mean, if you do have 3
Yeah.
things in your graveyard, you often do want to give a gift.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
This card is very powerful, but it does require you to have very specific things happen, right?
I think your deck has to be like really low curve for this.
They have to trade off too.
Kind of unrealistic. Yeah, exactly. Or maybe you can mill them. I don't know how.
I mean, cash grab.
Yeah, but I don't really want to play cash grab. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I think
unfortunately,
this is
cash grab
bad.
doesn't find this card. I think
Yeah, it finds
this is a
world.
constructed banker, probably.
Yeah, potentially. It might be better than Return to the Ring somehow, but unclear.
Unclear indeed. But
Yeah.
I don't know about limited. I kind of want to give this like a 4. Like it has merit. It's just like hard enough to make work that like
Yeah.
I don't know how
I
often
don't
you would
know. Maybe we
choose
should
that
be
card.
more mean to these cards. Maybe we should just call them unplayable, but it's probably playable.
I
I'm
think it's
not
probably
fine.
playable. I'm giving it a 4 because sometimes it's like an 8. I don't know.
But like you just know it's not though. Like I just think you know this card is gonna have horrible 17 land stat. Obviously that's not what matters. But it's just like too narrow. I'm gonna call it a 3.
What was the 3? 3 is weak and 4 is mediocre.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, at the very least, you can use this as a really bad like 3 mana play my 2-drop again. You know? Like, what if you have a
But
2-drop
why do you put it in
bomb?
your deck though? That's what happened.
Like, what if you have a 2-drop bomb?
What? I don't have a 2-drop bomb. Unless you mean first strike lifelink. I might have it.
I'm gonna give this a 4 because I need to stay one step ahead of you. You know?
Yeah, you do. That's true. Alright, let's hop to it. 2 and a white. For a sorcery, create 3/1/1 white rabbit creature tokens.
Banger.
Uh,
Very good.
and draw a card. Wow.
3 is a lot of tokens.
That's a good card. Yeah, 3 mana, 3 tokens. Sign me up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna slam this in my deck. Uh, Even if it's just like a mice deck or something, where where the card isn't really contributing to the plan, I still want it in my deck. I Maybe it's only a 7.
I feel
Yeah,
like
maybe it's just a 7.
I feel like it's probably well, okay, it's at least a 7. Let me think about whether it's an 8. It's probably not
Yeah.
an 8. Like because like you need a way to care about the rabbits for it to be like truly busted. Yeah, okay, 7. Oh, that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Star Charter. 3 and a white for a 3/1 bat cleric with flying. At the beginning of your end step, if you batted this turn, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card with power 3 or less from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Uh, Drawing cards for gaining life or losing life. Pretty good.
So this is worth working for, but you have to. Like I want to trigger it almost twice. Yeah, I kind of want to.
Wait, I feel like if you trigger
Yeah, I
this
need to trigger
once,
this
it's good,
twice.
right? Like 4 mana, 3/1,
I don't
draw a
know
card.
because I might miss.
How?
I
Wait,
might
wait,
miss on my
wait.
trigger.
It's not that easy to miss, right? Like, isn't it pretty hard to miss? I feel like in your white deck,
You
like
think you
almost
have
all of your creatures will have power 3 or less, right?
I most. Some of
Okay,
them might not even be creatures. Some
okay.
of them might be like three
Let's say you have
rabbits
10.
and us.
Let's say you have 10, right?
10? Okay, then you only hit 71%.
This is pretty good. I feel like 10 is like low, for the record. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I was gonna say like 12, and then it's what, 79? Yeah, I'm just
Uh,
saying you miss a lot,
I think
but
that's not a
good
lot.
for the time. You only look at 4. So, but anyway, I think if you trigger it once, it's not really actually above par. It's like fine, but you didn't actually like accomplish a big thing.
Okay, okay. Can we agree that if you hit once, it's good? Like it's above par.
Uh, it's like, yeah, but not by much.
Wait, isn't 4 mana 3/1 flyer like? Isn't it like? Isn't that like an organ hoarder level card, right? Like
No, look, compared it to like the 3/2 flyers that like draw a card when they die, for example.
Wait, no, wait.
Right? This is
Like
not an
no, no,
ETB
no.
regardless.
Wait. What I'm saying is that like okay, triggering on your end step is like not that different from ETB because like they have to have instant speed removal to disrupt that, right?
No, it's not going to trigger the turn you play it though.
Wait, is it not? I thought
Or
that
it
was
could. It could.
like okay. My thought is like you play this and then you attack with your like lifelink or whatever and then you play this, right? Like okay,
That's the ideal. Yeah.
to be clear, I'm comparing this
There's a
to
handful of cards that like fit.
I'm saying what if you play this and then that turn it triggers and you draw a card off of it. It's similar to Organ Hoarder in that the trigger is slightly worse, but you got a better body.
Yeah, pretty much.
So then the question is like, how easy is it to trigger this the turn you play? And I feel like you have to work for it, but like it's not going to be that hard in your bat deck. Surely not.
Well, I don't know. A lot of things have to go right. You have to like draw your card that gains life. You have to like have it live, and then you have to hit your 80%er.
I think it's just not that hard. I also definitely like it's
That's like 3 things that
okay, but also there's the games where like this absolutely demolishes them because it triggers like twice or 3 times, right?
yeah, that's what I'm excited about. I want to trigger it more than once.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying like I feel like it's just not that hard to get that like minimum like one trigger that then like gets you most of the way to a card.
Kind of. I don't know. Most creatures don't have lifelink. I'll claim that.
I guess you're not wrong that most
Like I
creatures
think
don't have lifelink.
yeah, like I think if you untap with this, you can pretty consistently trigger it.
Uh,
It's gonna be a lot more consistent to like plays
yeah,
on turn 4 and immediately get the trigger.
but like, okay, yes, most creatures don't have lifelink, but like, you're not putting random creatures in your deck, right? You're putting a curated set of creatures in your deck. And, like, presumably, you'll have more creatures that have some way of gaining life, like the turn you
And
pass.
I think less than half, and it'll still be less than half of your creatures. But
But it'll be enough to like that you have consistent access, right? Like, obviously, obviously, this like has fail cases of like you don't draw your synergy pieces, but like I don't know. I think this is easy enough to trigger and really good when it does trigger. Enough that I want to call this like a 9. I don't know, like pretty easily.
no way.
No?
Oh, I mean, this is. I agree. It's like the payoff you want, and like you'll build your deck to make it really good. But then even then, it's still very like they play their 2 mana black thing, they kill it. Right. Either they play it like instant speed the same turn you play this card, or or you didn't actually trigger it on curve because you probably can't, and then they just untap it and kill it because they're 1 black -2/-2. Not gonna be broken at a 9 level
I feel
because
like
of those
9 isn't
limitations.
that broken. Like 9 just means that I want something that gives me like solid value enough so that I like am taking it
Yeah.
over every
I mean,
common
I think
solid.
I'm gonna pick the 2 and a white offspring common rabbit over this card.
Okay, maybe that
That's
one's a
just more
9.
consistently getting me ahead. Maybe that common is a 9, but I'm not sure about that. I think 8 is generous.
I I'm still on 9, I think. But I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I want to say 7, but I won't. All right. Drift Gloom Coyote. 3 white for a 3/4 elemental coyote. Wow, there are actually several uncommons that don't have any types, huh?
Yeah.
All right, anyway, when Drift Gloom Coyote enters, exile target creature an opponent controls until this leaves the battlefield. If that creature had power 2 or less, put a +1/+1 counter on this.
Big
Uh,
Fiend Hunter.
so
This reminds me of the March of the
yeah,
Machine card, kind of, the land cycler.
the land cycler.
Yeah.
Okay, this seems worse than that probably.
How big was that land cycler?
It was a 6 mana 4/4, right?
I thought it had more toughness than it had power. Land cycling. Uh, what was this card called?
It might be
Uh,
flame cycling.
oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, it was a 3/4.
Alabaster Host Intercessor.
Yeah, that one was
Oh,
also a
so
three
it's
four.
worse than 4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that one was
Okay,
like
so
without the land cycling, that one was just more expensive than this.
well, yeah. I mean, is it so add plane cycling, add a mana, is that an upgrade or a downgrade? Forget about the counter for now. I guess it's probably a downgrade on a card like this. Hard to
Yeah, because
say,
like
but
playing this on turn 5 is a lot different than playing it on turn 6. And obviously plane cycling is nice, but like that's that's a more
yeah.
incidental like buyout. Like you actually do want to cast it generally. Um
Well, it's just like you said, the removal is more time sensitive. I think you don't
yeah.
want to get it. Then this counter thing, I mean, hopefully I'm not taking something super small, but I guess now I won't feel as bad about it. I'll get
Yeah,
a four
well,
five.
like imagine you like just eat their token, like eat their offspring, make this a 4/5. Hmm.
Yeah, that's solid. Yeah.
It's like pretty
Okay,
good
I'll call this
actually.
card a 6.
Oh, a 6? Really? I think this is much better than a 6.
Well, I don't know. It's a 5 drop.
A 5 drop, okay, like a 5 drop is very castable, and this like just kills something. I don't know. I'm
It has no
giving this.
types.
I don't care about types if I'm getting this. I'm
Yeah, me
giving this.
neither. I don't.
I'm giving this a low 8. Like I'm taking this beneath the like for the rabbit, but like I don't know.
Okay, I'll say whatever.
Okay, so am I like how close am I to being fully one grade above you? I'm very curious because it felt like every single card I was one grade above you.
Oh, no, it was not every single card at all. For just the uncommons, you had 7.12 average. I had 6.65.
Okay.
So less than half of it,
Okay.
barely. And then overall for white, you are higher than me, but that might not hold out.
Well, what's our overall averages for white? Do you know?
So I have this fancy weighting. The commons count twice as much or something.
Oh, okay,
And I
interesting.
say 6.11 for white for me, 6.37 for you.
Okay, makes sense. Okay, before we move on to blue,
Yeah.
I need to go
But
upgrade my
let me more
laundry.
weighting colors.
So I'm going to go upgrade my laundry to the dryer phase and then BRB. So quick break, I guess.
I
Uh,
see.
yeah, BRB. Guess I'll also run an ad or something. Be back in a bit. Okay. Back. Laundry upgraded. Is Julian back?
Hello.
Hello. Okay. Ready for blue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, starting off with Lily Pad Village. So, this is the blue land of the cycle. Again, taps for colorless, taps for blue for only creatures. Um, and this time the ability is blue tap Surveil 2, activate only if one of the blue creatures, bird, frog, otter, or rat, enter the battlefield under your control this turn.
Yeah.
So,
So I think the mana cost is a bit harder on this one. Probably more blue spells.
yeah, there are definitely more blue spells in existence than white spells. Though like, maybe not as many double pipped because like, the two white spell is a pretty important one. Or I can't think of like a blue common that's double pipped and not a creature.
Probably is one.
But yeah, how good is this ability? First of all, Surveil 2, like conditionally. It's like
I like
pretty
it.
decent, right? Like,
I think its ability is probably better than the white one.
yeah, I
Uh,
believe that. Like, especially since like if you're trying to do threshold stuff, which you might be, like
yeah.
that could be quite a bit of like acceleration towards that. That said, like
It is. You're still probably not going to act too early.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
I feel like one of the problems with the ability or like yeah, it is kind of when you're doing it, it does feel nicer than the white one, but like it is harder to do than the white one, right? Like the white land you can just crack whenever,
Yeah.
right? And like find your thing whenever. Whereas this thing, like if you're flooding out and you just don't have anything in hand, you can't activate this, right? Like you can only activate it
Yeah.
right after playing something. So you can kind of only activate it after playing your last thing because otherwise a lot of times well, not like a lot of times you might rather spend that mana on a spell if you can.
Yeah. Actually, never mind. I think I like this. The even ability. So
Oh no, you cut out a bunch. You said you like this less than the white one?
yeah, on both fronts actually. I think the ability is just harder to fit in actually than the
Hmm.
white one.
Yeah.
And then the mana, so I said 6.
Is there a way to bounce on instant speed? I don't know what that would like be relevant for this card. Um, Maybe blink at instant speed is what the intention was, and you're trying to blink at instant speed to activate on their
Yeah.
turn. I don't think that's that. I don't. One, I'm not convinced that exists really,
Or
and two, I don't think it's that good to do. Right? Like,
I mean, maybe there's a card with flash. You flash it in and then surveil on your turn.
yeah, that's fair.
I could believe that mattering. You're like trying to hold up counters as well or something.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
But
we saw just a
and
quench at common, right? Um,
yeah, I think I'll still plan to play it in my blue deck,
yeah,
but it might be kind of borderline pretty often.
yeah. Yeah, I agree with you on 6.
Calamitous. Oh wait, we got it. Sorry, I was reading message. Into the Flood Maw. Single blue for an instant. Gift a tap fish. Return target creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand. If the gift was promised, instead return target non-land permanent an opponent controls to its owner's hand. Okay, that's mostly just unsummon, but you can hit anything you give them a fit.
Yeah, this is not the most inspiring gift, certainly.
Yeah, and I think this is less upside than you usually get on an unsummon, especially one that can only target your opponent's stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, even the gift version can't target your own stuff,
Why couldn't they
unfortunately.
let the at least like if you gift, you should be able to target your own thing too. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, this is pretty bad. Can we give this a 3?
sure.
Like I don't think it gets into 2 territory because like there are like you will sometimes play an unsummon in your deck.
Yeah,
It's just like very very weak.
just really
Um
want to unsummon.
yeah. Splash
What's
Portal.
the next part of the source?
Yeah, blue for a sorcery. Exile target creature you control that returns to the battlefield under its owner's control, hopefully yours. If that creature is a bird, frog, otter, or rat, draw a card. So blink something at sorcery speed, only for 1 mana, but like, that takes away some of the utility of
And
a blink.
yeah, and draw a card. It's
Well,
like a cantrip.
okay, like, usually you draw a card. I can imagine sometimes you don't.
A bird frog.
Um, I don't know. This is a weird card.
Or you can think of it. Yeah.
I guess like if you have the froggish visionary, then this is like 1 mana
Yeah.
divination.
I think this will actually be good in a frog deck. Like
It's so risky though.
pretty good. How because they could get blown out.
Well, like because you have to put this card in your deck that like doesn't always do anything. Like it usually like there are many
No,
board states where it does nothing and it like gets blown out as well
no.
sometimes.
You, all of your creatures are gonna let this just cantrip.
No, like but just cantripping isn't doing anything, right? Like just
No,
cantripping is
but
really
that's a much
bad.
better than being stuck in your hand. No,
Fair, I
it's not.
guess.
That's really a big difference. And you're gonna cycle it all the time.
Yeah, but like
And then sometimes I'm gonna just draw two with it.
you just can't cycle it on turn 1, and you can't cycle it on turn
No,
2.
I know. That's fine. That's fine. I know. I mean, I'm hoping to hold it until I can draw two. I'm just saying it has a very clean buyout.
I feel like it needs to have a better like upside than risky draw too. You know, like I don't want this to just like be a like okay if I get the ceiling on this is 1 mana divination, right?
I think that's very good. That's a pretty high
It's
ceiling.
you're asking so much. It's 1 mana divination that gets blown out by a removal spell, like horribly blown out by a removal spell. You know.
Yes.
Let's see. So, we have this can either be a bird or a rat. I'm just doing a Scryfall search now, or a otter or a frog, and we want things that trigger on entering. Okay, so there's the red
Yeah.
otter
I assume
that
it's
like
mostly
draws a
just be
card.
frogs.
Um, Okay, so there's a red auto that
Okay. Yeah.
draws that makes this into like kind of a divination. There's a green
Yeah.
frog that makes it into like kind of a cultivate. Um, there's a 6 mana otter that like casts a spell from your graveyard. Okay, I guess that does something. Um, I don't think Surveil 2 is good enough, right? Like, are you excited to blink your rat otter like your 4 mana 3/4 that surveils 2? Not convinced.
Uh, yes, I will cast my preordain. Thank you.
I okay. First of all, it's a serum vision's not preordained,
Yeah,
but
that's what I said. Yeah.
I don't know about that. There's the Froggish Visionary, sure. There's like tap and stun something, I guess. I don't know. There's like 5 cards that I want to blink below rare. Like there's 5 cards that I'm like, oh, I'm actively happy. Like if I can put this together, it feels like I've accomplished something, right? And that's ignoring all the downsides.
And they didn't make any good frogs.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I guess you
I
could
mean,
I could I guess you
probably
could blink the one mana frog, right? Like for a
yeah.
one counter in a life. I wasn't counting that, but like I don't know.
Sounds like we're sort of just giving up on the frogs there,
Yeah, I mean yes,
which is
kind of.
probably right. Yeah, disappointing though.
I am prepared to give this a 3.
Okay, well, I'll give it a
What would you give it? Sorry, you cut out right on the number.
4.
4? You're
4.
higher than me on this one. Nice.
Yeah. Bloom Creed Escort, 1 in the blue for a 2/1 bird scout with flash and flying. When it enters, target creature you control gains hexproof until end of turn. Wait, what? Isn't that just rattle chains? Oh, but it doesn't give you other things flash.
Yeah, it doesn't give your other birds flash or whatever. Also, unlike
Yeah,
other birds, this can
yeah,
target creatures with flying.
yeah. You can target anything. That's why I thought it was kind of absurd, but no, it doesn't quite do the rattle chains thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's still pretty absurd and limited, right?
Yeah,
Like to be clear, like
yeah.
you
It's
you
not
can
good.
compare this to Starlit Mantle, etc.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
those enchantments that
The,
like give a thing hexproof and +1/+1, right? Like you get 2 and flyer.
this is a blowout anytime you can save your thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
and also sometimes you just play it on turn 2, right? Like obviously that's not the ideal, right? 2 mana 2/1 flyer is fine, but like not like that
yeah, it
good.
is fine.
It's not that good of a card, but like that as the buyout, excellent. 9?
At least an 8. Fine.
Are you giving him a 9 as well? You cut out.
I said yes.
Okay, great. You kept cutting out on like exactly the number, which is amusing. Yeah. Anyways,
Uh,
Shoreline Looter, 1 in the blue for a 1/1 rat rogue. It can't be blocked, and so 1/1 unblockable. And when it deals combat damage to a player, you loot. Except if you have threshold, you don't discard the card.
yeah. Uh, Wait, so
Well,
there was like that werewolf in Midnight Hunt
yeah,
that was the same thing, except the condition for not discarding was it's night.
yeah, and then there's a 2/1 as well.
Yeah, that's better than this.
Yeah, a lot better because you can just pass turn 3 and
Yeah,
just flip
you
it.
can make it activate a lot. Yeah. But that card was very good, right? Or
Yeah, but I feel like this
not
is
the
a
same. Yeah.
categorically much different card, right?
Yes. Yes. This one's probably just like
Well, the nice thing is that looting helps you hit threshold, right?
yeah,
Pretty quickly.
yeah.
I think it's like good, but like I kind of want to give it a 6, like a lower
Six.
6.
Wow. I was happy with my loot every turn for sure.
I don't know. It's like fragile. It like doesn't like
But like a 2-drop they have to remove eventually. That's okay.
yeah, but like do they could remove you instead of removing it, right?
Yes, but they have to do that. We'll do one of those because it will take over the game eventually. You're drawing 2 cards a turn.
Yeah, but it it takes so long for it to take over the game eventually. I don't know. Okay, let's say
Well,
you
I think if you play this on turn 2, you're gonna have threshold by turn
okay,
6 or
let's say
5.
you play this on turn two, and then on turn three you like play the 3 mana like mill two cards, and then you attack with this. Now you have 3 cards because you discarded a card, and you trade that off. You have four
Okay.
cards, and then you attack with this again. You have 5 cards, and you like I don't know. You play another like mill two, and now you're at 7 cards. And then suddenly
That's
on turn
4 cards.
five you can attack with this and draw a card, but you had to like play
Yeah.
2 mill twos, right?
Yeah. So I think by turn 5 or 6, this will turn on threshold.
Uh, yeah, but like that's like a long time from now, you know? So many turns.
I mean, that's okay.
I'm giving this a 6 for the first turn that you'll draw a card with it.
Okay. Well, I'm higher again. It's a 7.
Great. I'm higher on white cards, you're higher on blue cards.
Yeah, that is a theme. Although I will say the white cards
You
impressed me. They were very beat. They all just get a boost from each other. Even if I was slightly lower. Okay, next card is Gossip's Talent. 1 in a blue for a class. When a creature you control enters Surveil 1, and you can level it up for 1 in a blue. Then, whenever you attack, target attacking creature with power 3 or less can't be blocked this turn. At level 3 for 3 and a blue is whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may exile it and return it to the battlefield under it.
Can we call this a Nuno card, or is that too harsh?
I have to read it again first.
So baseline, like the first level, it only ever like surveils, and like it surveils based on other creatures entering. It doesn't even surveil immediately. Second
Yeah.
level, it only ever makes things unblockable, like small-ish things unblockable. Which like, okay, great. I guess you've paid 4 mana
Oh,
to
wow.
like I don't know.
Hmm.
Like, would you pay?
Okay.
What would you pay for like an equipment with like that you could like equip like 2 mana equip for like one that like just gave a small thing
Yeah.
unblockable? I don't know,
So
maybe.
the idea is you spend 8 mana, fully leveled, and now you're a Frog Visionary. Every turn surveils 1 and draws a card.
Yes.
That's the
You
idea.
did spend 8 mana on it, but yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's not gonna be good enough. Um, I don't know. I think surveils do add up personally, but it's really disgusting. You had to like dump a card into it, not really get anything. So
So can we call this an Uno card, or are we giving it a 2? I'm giving it a
mm,
1. I think. I think I like my Uno card.
I have to give it a 2.
Long River's Pull. Okay, to explain a bit on why I'm giving it a 1, like why I'm calling it an Uno card. Uh, Most cards I can imagine, like, okay, in this deck, I will, like, maybe in some contrived situation, I will want to put that card in my deck instead of a basic land. That's not true of this card. Um, so that's.
Yeah, I don't have a clear vision for how the card will be playable either, but I don't know. It's interesting enough.
You can play as many basic lands as you want.
Yeah, like that's probably correct, but
Okay,
I'm not confident enough to say that.
okay. Long River's Pull. This is blue for an instant. Counter target creature spell. But if you give them a card, you can instead counter target spell. This
Hmm.
card is not good, in my opinion. I think it's very easy to underrate the cost of blue in this respect. But, like, so,
Yeah,
for example, Essence Scatter has generally been like a 7 level
probably
card, right? Like it is just a good card.
almost.
Right. And
Yeah,
as a
it's worse than essence.
comparison, So essence capture, which looks like essence scatter with upside, right? Like it's blue counter target
Yeah.
creature spell, and then you can put a counter on one of your creatures, right? It's like you're like, oh wow,
Yeah.
I'm getting value on top of the essence scatter. But like in various formats, it has actually been worse than essence scatter, not better, just because blue is such a
Yeah.
big cost, right?
And I would say this is worse than Essence Capture.
Yeah, by a lot. Like
Yeah.
you're
This is
the default
horrible.
is not getting any value out of it, and like yeah, you have a buyout of countering like especially important non-creature spells, but it's a pretty bad buyout, right?
Yeah. You'll do it if you have to, but it's
Like you
not
really
much.
have to, right? Like your opponent
Yeah.
has to really be casting a card that's like really strong. So
Will you put this in your deck if you have the white guy? White thing that draws power off gifts?
no, because it costs double blue. I don't know.
Oh, well. Yeah, it's still just like a cancel with discount, even when you have that white card in play.
It's
Uh,
Dream Fracture. Do you know what the card Dream Fracture
okay.
is?
No.
Dream Fracture is cancel both players draw a card, basically.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, what do we give it? A 2?
I'm giving it a 3. Like the thing is, you can actually play this in your like mono blue deck. Right? Like in your like heavy blue deck, you can actually play this.
That's true. Hmm. Okay,
You ha-
fine.
you have to be really heavy blue, but yeah, you can.
Oh, Jason,
Sorry, what?
is 10 islands enough?
Mm, 11.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Otterball Antics. 1 and a blue for a sorcery. Create a 1/1 blue and red otter creature token with prowess. This spell is cast from anywhere other than your hand. Put a +1/+1 counter on that creature, and it has flashback. 3 and a 1. 1 mana 1/1, or 2 mana 1/1. 4 mana 2/2, but they have prowess.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mana, but
I think it's not bad. It's like
maybe you can rummage this away.
so it's like this is like mostly worse than 2 mana 1/1 prowess draw a card, right? Obviously, I
For
say
sure.
that, but like that card
That'd be
would be
very good.
absurd, right? But it's still like pretty good. So okay, one neat fact about this is that so there's the red otter that impulse draws. If you hit this off of an impulse draw and just cast it like for its
Oh,
front side from
you get a counter.
exile, you get a counter. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like a bit of upside.
I wonder if that's the only way.
I think there's more ways. Probably. Almost certainly there's more ways. Maybe some of them are rare, but like
Okay, I'm still not blown away. I'll just call it a 7.
when you said I'm still not blown away, I thought you were gonna say like 5. It's like
Oh,
or 6
no, I
maybe.
think this is your premium blue 2-drop for your otter deck.
How good is a 1/1 prowess though? Like, is that better than a 2/2?
No, it's like the same.
Okay, it's like the same as a 2/2. I like how good is like 2 mana make a 2/2 flashback for 4? Make a 3/3. It's like this is
That's
okay.
good.
Eh,
You
yeah,
draw a
okay.
hill giant.
What does it come to that you're talking me up to a 7? I'll give it a 7.
I'm higher on the blue cards. What can I say?
Long River Lurker. 2 in the blue for a 2/3 Frog Scout with Ward 1. Also, other frogs you control have Ward 1. Just in case your opponent wanted to target your 1/1 Elva
Well,
frog
I'm trying to
invader.
flicker it, and they're trying to
Hmm.
interact with my flickering, so I have to have
Yeah.
ward 1.
When it enters, target creature you control can't be blocked this turn. When that creature deals combat damage to this turn, you may exile it. If you do, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. So it's kind of like ETB flicker something with slightly extra steps that mostly mean your opponent takes more damage.
It seems like this frog deck is super reliant on like multiple copies of that hybrid frog.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like it's true that nobody else wants it because it's double hybrid. Um, so maybe you can get it. It's a common.
Yeah. So okay. Well, another thing about this card is you can just like make a huge thing unblockable theoretically. To like
Yes.
off-axe your opponent. It has some modality there. It also gives the thing
Yeah.
you attack with vigilance, right? Like theoretically you can go like,
Yeah.
okay, give a thing unblockable and then attack with it, blink it, and then still be able to block with it, right?
Yeah. I mean, this card is good because it does a lot of things. But you need like a ETB for it to really be even card.
I think on average it comes out to like a 7.
Okay, great. Mind Whisker, 2 and a blue for a 3/2 raptor. At the beginning of your upkeep, surveil 1. And it has threshold. Creatures your opponents control get -1, -0. Huh.
That is quite the threshold ability.
Yeah.
Giving everything your opponents
And it
control
turns it
-1,
comes
-0
on.
is a lot. A lot of good stuff here. I don't know. This is like definitely the best rat we've seen, I think.
So if you wait a couple turns, you get automatic librarian.
What?
The
Oh,
librarian that like
oh, the 3-2 surveillance. Okay, sure, sure.
yeah,
I guess that's a comparison point. Okay, but to be fair, two surveil one like two surveil ones on your
yeah,
upkeep is better than a surveil two. Like at a later time.
I think I agree. But this one can die, so
Yeah. Okay, but the real thing you want is like the threshold ability. Also,
yeah, yeah.
I
I don't know.
still
I'm at a similar place on this card as the previous one.
yeah I still have a hard time giving this more than a 7 because like it's good. It's just like there's some times where the threshold ability won't matter, right? Like sometimes your opponent just has like really big things, and like obviously like it still does something, but also sometimes the threshold ability won't be turned on. Sometimes you just trade it off as a 3-2. Honestly, I'm talking myself down to 6. I'm giving this a 6. It just doesn't do anything, right? Like you play it and it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, and you can't trade off if you want it to be good. Yeah, all right. Right. Cards are always sneaky. How bad they're.
Sugar Coat, 2 in the blue for an enchantment aura with flash, enchant creature or food. The enchanting food part is mostly to make it not fall
Make it
off.
work.
Enchanted Permanent is a colorless food artifact with 2 Zachnus gain 3 life and loses all other card types and abilities. So this just like is kill the target thing, they make a food.
Yeah, for free mana. It's solid.
Oh, okay. So compare this to the black removal spell, right?
That one,
That one was destroy
you
target
lost
creature.
life.
You either lose 2 or you gift them a food. This is mostly the same card, right?
I mean, it's worse in multiple ways.
Yeah, but I mean it's slightly better in that. Okay, so like if you choose the gift mode, then the 2 cards are very similar. Except, but like obviously the black one you can choose
Yeah.
to lose 2 life, and also this one prevents death triggers if that matters. I don't know.
Oh,
This is less threshold for both players.
Yeah, but they can get it if they want.
Yeah, this is just like
Um,
slightly different from the black spell. What did we give the black spell?
I don't know. I think this is worse for sure.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
probably
yeah.
gave the black one a 7.
Are we giving this a 6 then?
I don't know. You didn't seem to be emphasizing that this can get disenchanted, and I
Oh
think that's
yeah,
pretty
sure, fair,
important.
yeah, yeah. This can get disenchanted. You can theoretically there's things that can pick up the thing that this is enchanting. So yeah, okay. Um,
6,
yeah, 6.
Flash Lasher. 3 in a blue for a 3/3 frog wizard. Offspring, 1 in a blue. When this creature enters, tap up to 1 target creature and put a stun counter on it.
Unfortunately, this does not have
Okay.
flash, so it's not a flash splash slasher, but it is a
Yeah.
normal splash slasher.
So for 6 mana, you tap 2 things. Get a 3/3 and a 1/1.
That's a lot. Like I think the default
Yeah.
mode on this is to try to get to like play it on 6. But like I don't know, this is just a good effect, right? Like Chillbringer for 1 less
Yeah,
mana
it's a
without
lot.
flying, or 1 more mana and it doesn't have flying and does it twice. It's pretty nice. 33 also just like interacts in combat. I don't know. Oh, there was the pirate in LCI that was like you get to tap and stun something if you have an artifact, right? And it was 4 mana 3/3. That was like pretty good if you consistently had the artifact. It was like that with upside.
Yeah.
Like it always works. You can offspring it.
All right. This is another frog to flicker.
Yeah. You can't flicker it and get offspring, unfortunately, but
Yeah, I know. That's fine.
I want to call this at
Okay.
least a 7. I could see it being an 8 though.
I'm not going higher than that.
I'm giving it an 8 because like I just think that the offspring mode is just so backbreaking. Like
Maybe.
you get 2 creatures and tap 2 of their creatures. Come on. Spell Giant, 2 blue, instant. Choose one. You either counter target spell, so just 4 mana counter target spell, or you surveil 2, draw 2. So with this, you very often want to be casting the second mode, right? You usually want to make this a powerful draw spell. It's pretty powerful. Like it puts 3 things in your graveyard and draws 2 cards. Works you towards uh, that threshold. But like it
But then it
has.
also gives you. So
Sorry, you cut out a bit. It also gives you.
protection against bombs. I think
Yeah.
that's pretty important.
Yeah, like, you're not the happiest spending 4 mana on a counter spell, but like, if your opponent just casts
No,
a
but that's
five
not.
mana
Okay.
card, like, you might.
Yeah, like that's not really how you think about that card because counter target spell is just a very variable effect. It's
Yeah,
not worth it if it's a 4 mana card, but like often works 4 mana in the right spot. So
yeah, yeah,
shouldn't be disappointed to use that mode.
exactly.
Um,
I don't know. This is a
so I
fun
like it.
card. Can I give it a 7?
Yeah, I mean I'm worried that's overrating it, but I want to as
Oh, I
well.
was worried it was underrating it. I don't know. Surveil 2, draw 2 is pretty nice.
I don't know. I think it's gotten worse.
Well,
Used to be
specifically the Surveil, right? Like, if it were Scry 2, draw 2,
potentially, yeah,
I'd be like less interested. But yeah, I don't know. Well,
pretty
7.
similar. All right, Night Fisher. 3 blue for a 4/5 bird knight with flying. Whenever another non-token bird you control enters, create a 1/1 blue fish creature.
Oh hey,
Oh,
that's how
now
we
it's
get. That's
an
how we
actual
get
bird for
our. That's how we get our
yeah.
ground creatures.
Yeah. But if it's a ETB thing, I forget if there's a card like that, then you can't actually make it work. But
Yeah, yeah.
it's also a big flyer.
Yeah, but also like it's expensive. So like, how often are you
Yeah,
casting this and then after that casting a bird, right?
not in one turn. Yeah,
So I guess one question to ask is like, okay, how many fish do you need for this to be good?
one.
You need one fish. It's pretty
Yeah.
reasonable. How often are you, like how good is it when you get one fish? Because I feel like you can't expect to get more than one fish. Certainly.
I think if it like made the fish on ETB, it would be uh 7,
Okay. And it's
maybe
worse
8.
than that. It's like significantly worse than
Yeah.
that.
Uh, yeah, somewhat.
Am I off base for wanting to give this a 5?
I don't know. I'm not sure how good the stat line is if you just forget about the fish.
Yeah, like that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like 5 mana 4/5 flyer. I guess like five. I guess 5 is kind of a break point of like there's a 4 damage removal spell, but I don't know.
I mean, it's kind of like the 5 mana 3/4s that put a counter on another creature, but it puts it on itself.
Yeah, but usually though you don't want to put it on itself, right? Like
Yeah, but sometimes it's the only option, and you're like, oh, I wish I could.
that's true.
Um,
I'm gonna give this a 5.5.
okay. I'm going to give it a 6 for me, but I don't know what to do.
Okay, moving on. I don't care what you put for
Okay.
me. Daring Wave Rider, also known as Torrential Otterhulk, Taradershol Greerhulk. I don't know. 4 blue for a 4/4 Otter Wizard with when it enters, you may cast target instant or sorcery with mana value 4 or less from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. And then if it would be put in your graveyard, exile instead. So you just get to flash back a spell. Basically any spell. Like you can't obviously it's 4 or less, but most spells are 4 or less. I guess you can't flash back the 5 mana draw 3. But this
Okay.
card is a lot.
So here's the things. I play like 3 copies of it in the early game, just like, and then I play this thing and I draw 3 more cards, and then I block on something else.
Yeah, I guess this is a combo with Splash Portal, yeah.
Yeah.
Splash Portal secretly has like it's secretly like you know the card from Kaldheim that's like you can flash it back from your graveyard if you control a giant, like it's an anticipate.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, the Splash Portal is like draw cards. Then like when Daring Wave Rider enters, draw a card, exile this from your graveyard and draw a card.
Yeah. Yeah, you do need another blue animal, but it's okay.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
this this is probably one of the best reasons to play Splash Portal.
Yeah. Which we weren't that high on.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then
That's why I gave the Splash Portal a 3. Like you can imagine a deck where you're playing it. It's just like usually doesn't happen.
what else can we get?
I don't
We
know,
get
random removal spells. Just like play a
the
random
surveillance.
removal spell.
Oh, like non-blue. Yeah.
Yeah, like or I mean, there's also the blue one. There's the like put it on
There is
top
the
or
blue one. Yeah.
bottom.
Okay.
I mean, this
All
is
right. This
just a
card
good
has to be
card,
solid then.
right? Like this is like 6 mana
I'll call it a 7.
like ETB better than draw a card. I don't know. I'm calling this a 8.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like way better than draw a card.
Calamity Tide. I guess. Calamitous Tide 4 blue sorcery. Return up to 2 target creatures to their owner's hand. Draw 2 cards and discard a card. Okay.
So
Sure.
remember Snow Day from
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of as
Strixhaven?
well.
Yeah,
That
like
one taps things down and stunned or whatever.
yeah. That was like tap
And
and
I
stun
think
instead
it's
of
better to
bounce.
bounce.
It was
Yeah, it was
tricky.
also an instant, right?
It's tricky whether it's better to bounce. Like if you're
I
attacking,
know.
right? Like bouncing can, especially on 6 mana. Sometimes when you're attacking, bouncing means that they can like redeploy and block the next turn, whereas like tapping and stunning means they can't do that, right? And
Yeah,
obviously,
I know. I did. That was an instant. That
yeah.
was the
Oh
big
yeah,
difference.
yeah. Also, that one being an instant is really nice. Notably, this can profitably bounce your own creatures. Like you can like go like bounce your thing,
Yeah, I know.
bounce my frog. It's kind of glacially slow
Yeah.
if you do that, but like I don't know.
Yeah. I think this is fine. I'll
Yeah,
call it a 6.
I'm calling it a 5.
Oh, okay.
I think
Oh well.
I think it's more often going to be awkward than it is going to be good.
Oh yeah, maybe you're not even supposed to put it. Okay, never mind. Like I think you actually, because it's so expensive, are often not going to include it in your deck.
Yeah, like this is the kind of card where like if you're like an aggressive otters deck, like sure, I can imagine this. But
Sure.
like I'm not gonna play this just for value, you know.
Yep. All right, next card.
Eddie Merc Crab, 5 blue for a 5/5 elemental crab, typeless. Has flash, costs 1 less to cast for each instant and sorcery in your graveyard. It enters tapped if it's not your turn, so you can't ambush Viper people with this. But when it enters, you get to tap up to 2 target creatures. Powerful.
It's really great. I can imagine getting this down to pretty cheap.
Yeah. Sadly, this does not work well with Splash Portal.
Yeah, there's no types.
Well,
Right.
first of all, no types, but also second of all, if you like Splash Portal this, then you're not like you can't do it except to tap down block. Like you can't get value except to tap down blockers for combat, and then you can't attack with your 5/5, right?
Yeah, no way. Yeah. Um, but it's okay. You cast a splash portal on somebody else and just discount your crab. Um, I mean, I want to be really. I
This
feel like
card,
this is a real pull to like play a bunch of spells
yeah,
or
this
be
card
left
is like
grounded.
really insane, right? Like you like okay,
Yeah,
let's say okay by turn 4, you need to have cast 3 spells, right? There need to be 3 spells in your graveyard. I feel like that's not that hard.
that's really hard.
I don't know. On turn 2, I like made an otter with prowess for a spell.
Okay, you
Uh,
can you cast 2 instants and sorceries on turn 3. No
yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah. I cast the like otter divination, and then I like cast
Okay,
something. I don't know.
this is your fantasy land. I think turn 5. Cast on turn 5, no problem.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
plenty.
Yeah, no, no. I'm just saying, like, okay, like how I think it is hard to cast on turn 4. I mean, I think it like sometimes you do it, and then it's, I don't know 5/5
I'm never
tap
gonna
down
do
two
it.
things. It's quite a bit.
Okay, do we call it a 9?
I want to call it a 9. Yeah.
Um, so I was higher on the blue uncommons, but you're still higher on blue overall than me. But both of us agree it's significantly worse than white.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Let's just jump into black.
Sure. Uh,
Okay, Mudflat
we should
Village.
do like half the black cards, and then I should go get my laundry. No, we should do all the black cards, and then I'll get my laundry.
Yeah.
It should be fine chilling there.
M- yeah. Mudflat Village is the black land cycle. Taps for colorless, taps for black, but only for creatures. And you can pay 1 black, tap and sack it to return target bat, lizard, rat, or squirrel card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, is that better than looking at your top 6 for 1?
I think so.
Probably.
Yeah, because like
Yeah.
you're not using this until the late game anyways, and like this way you
And you're
know what
probably
you're
seeing
getting
more
back.
than 6 cards.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you can like plan to get this back, or like plan to make this good.
Okay. So I think it's pretty straightforward. Also a 7.
Yeah. Also 7. Great. Bone Cash Overseer. Black for a 1/1 Squirrel Warlock. Tap, pay 1 life, draw a card. Activate only if 3 or more cards left your graveyard this turn, or if you've sacrificed a food this turn. So the joke here is like you forage and
We
then you
could
get
just
to
say
draw a card.
forage.
Yeah. Well, so the thing is
Yeah.
you can pay to sacrifice your food and then activate
Oh,
this,
okay. Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
That's
like,
good.
like
Yeah.
this makes all of your like with this on the battlefield, it's basically like you can treat it as like at minimum tap sack of food, gain 2 life, draw a card, right?
Yeah.
Or well, paying
Yeah.
2 life, paying
Yeah.
2 mana.
Big mana. Yeah.
Uh,
So your foods turn into clues that gain 2 life.
yeah.
But it's a 1 mana 1/1 otherwise.
Yeah, but it's a 1 mana. I don't know. 1 mana 1/1 isn't that bad. Like obviously you wouldn't play a 1 mana
Yeah.
1/1, but it's not like it's a 2 mana 1/1, right? Like you just play this on turn 1 and it's like okay, I just have this, and then like you just get to get a lot of value out of
Yeah.
this. Card is very strong. It's like this is like Prosperous Innkeeper. Or not?
You mean
No, sorry, Edgewall Innkeeper. That one.
yeah. It's like that, but it costs a life each time.
Yeah, but also like it's. I think it's easier to forage or sacrifice.
You also have to
food.
tap it, so you can't just like activate. Like the innkeeper, you sometimes draw a card the same turn you play it. You draw it later.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. I'm willing to give it an 8 though.
I'm gonna give this a 9. I feel like if I draw
Ruthless.
one card out of this, it's very good. So you know.
I think it's good if you draw 1 card. Very good if you draw 2. All right. Ruthless Negotiation. Single black for a sorcery. Target opponent exiles a card from their hand. If the spell was cast from a graveyard, draw a card. It has flashback 4 black. Wow. So it's a 3 for 1.
Well, okay, you say wow, but like
Yeah,
if you just think of like the whole like what you get when you like cast this and flash it back, you get mind
Mind
rot,
Rot, draw a card.
you draw a card for 6 total
Yeah.
mana spent, but like you know you can do it on turn 5.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
You can also like rummage it or mill over it. And then you basically like a 5 mana Mind Rot.
I don't know how much I want that.
Yeah.
You know?
It exiles a card. I like it.
I don't like it. I don't know. It's just like by the time you're paying 5 mana into this, there's some chance your opponent doesn't even have a card in hand anymore.
I know.
Or if they do, like you might just be dying to their board as you do this. 5 is so much mana. Like if this were 4 mana, I would be a lot more excited. But 5 is so much mana. You know how much effort it takes to hit your 5th land drop? 5th land drop isn't free.
I always have my 5th land drop.
Okay. Congratulations on playing your 19 land deck, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this a 2.
Wow. I'm gonna give it a 5.
I should give it a 1 and you should give it a 5. So I'm giving it a grade equal to its like first cost, and you're giving it a grade equal to its flashback.
No. I'm surprised, Jason. Like, obviously, 1 mana they exile card from their hand is bad, but you kind of like draw a lucky card off of it. I think that's a lot of upside. I'm thinking about
No,
okay, this is
no.
no Hopeless Nightmare, but it
No,
reminds me of
this
Hopeless
is
Nightmare.
really not Hopeless Nightmare. Hopeless Nightmare helps you play small games. This makes the game small and doesn't help you play it. Right? This really
Of course,
doesn't
it
help
helps you.
you play small games. I don't know. Anyways, Persistent March Stalker. One of the black for a 3/1 Rat Berserker. It gets +1/+0 for each other rat you control. Can get pretty big. And Threshold, whenever you attack with one or more rats, if you have Threshold, you may pay 2 in a black. If you do, return this from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped and attacking. Notably, this, okay, so this is Threshold from your graveyard.
Mm.
I mean, this is pretty strong.
Wait, so and it comes back as a 4/1 at least.
Yeah, yeah.
Weird.
This is a 2 mana 3/1 that can get bigger and also just like in the late game
So the
you
rats
can
are the
tap.
mirror, right?
Yeah, the rats are Demir.
Yeah.
I mean, I like this
Okay. Yeah. Great
card.
card. Yeah. 8.
Isn't it? I think it's more like a 7. Like there'll be lots of game like a lot does have to go right for you to like get it back, right? Like you
Bring it
need to be
back. Yeah.
attacking and you need to be attacking with a rat, right? Like you have other rats in your deck.
Yeah. But it's also a 2 mana 3/1 that is sometimes a 4/1.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just
Yeah.
think that's like a 7 territory. I don't know.
Mm. Okay. Starscape Cleric. 1 in a black for a 2/1 flying with Offspring 2 in a black. Creature can't block, however, and whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. Okay. Why is it a bat?
Well, it cares about you gaining life, I guess.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'm confused. The bats and the rats are not the same.
I,
Yeah.
I don't really like it very much though. Like can't block is pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. So if you pay 5 mana, you get 2 of these. Then if you gain life, each opponent loses 2 life. So you can maybe be like dealing 5 a turn or something. So you pay 5 mana.
So
Yeah,
another
the
thing I
warning
don't
card.
like is that like I feel like bats so far have looked not that look very mid-rangey, like trying to play a long game and not like aggressive. This doesn't
Yeah,
do
okay.
that. This doesn't enable your bat synergies because it doesn't like gain you life or lose you life, and it also
Yeah,
like I don't
the
know
payoff.
it doesn't it's not
Or
that good of a payoff either, right?
okay, but it's still like a flexible card. 8 for 2 or 5, and like
Yeah, you get bad things no matter what you pay into it.
yeah. But okay, it's only
You cut out for a bit.
no. I think I just stopped talking.
Okay. Well, I'm giving this a 4.
Um, I was asking Jason.
You cut out after saying you were asking.
Um, yeah, chat talking about X1 hate cards, but I still have not seen the cards that actually. They're not,
There's only one X1 hit card. Also, you are continuing to cut out. Hmm.
okay, but it's not my fault. It's your fault.
I agree. It's probably it might be my fault. I don't know whose fault it is.
Yeah. All right. Sorry. Anyway, we agree on this card.
We were both giving it a 4. Great. There's definitely times where like you cut out a lot for like 2 minutes, and then like most of the other times it's fine. I don't know what's happening with that. Let's give it a bit. Okay, now it looks better. Great. Um, Bandit's Talent is the next card. So this is 1 in the black for another of these class enchantments. When it enters, each opponent discards 2 cards unless they discard a non-land card. So mostly they're discarding 1 card, but like they're either discarding 1 card or 2 lands, basically. um, uh, and then level 2, you pay a black into it, and at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, if that player has 1 or fewer cards in hand, they lose 2 life. So like, gotta rack them. And then 3 in the black. At the beginning of your draw step, draw an additional card for each opponent who has 1 or fewer cards in hand. So you really punish them for like not having cards. Uh, this is a card that I like more as like the like they discard a card and you are left with something.
Wow. I think this is much worse than the flashback card.
Really?
Yeah, like it costs 2 mana up front instead of 1, and then you get less when you level it up than when you flash back the other one for the same total mana.
Wait, what? Don't you get more? Like you want to affect the board or like affect their life total like pressure them in a small game?
My opponents do not have 1 or fewer cards in hand. Like this, the level 2 and 3 just aren't going to do anything because they're going to have 2 cards.
I think you overestimate how often your opponent has 2 cards. I don't know.
Yeah. Also, like even if your level 3 does for you, you just draw 1 card. Like you got 2 cards of value from the flashback. It takes. I think this card's horrible.
Well, okay. To be fair, after
Giving this
thinking
one a
about it, I
2.
agree that this card is horrible, but I think it's just as horrible as the other card. Like I think it's like only maybe I think it's slightly better than the previous card. You know?
I'll put the previous card down for.
I think that I'm gonna give this one a 3.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
This one like
Feed the cycle. 1 in a black for an.
I like this one does more in multiples also, right? Like I could see a deck that just like
Oh yeah.
plays these and like just
No,
kills.
it's a more synergistic card. Like if
Yeah.
you have a lot of discard, but I don't think that's a real thing. All right. Feed the cycle. 1 in a black for an instant. As an additional cost, cast a spell, forage, or pay a black. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. Oh,
So it's Hero's
so
Downfall or it's you know Murderous Cut.
yeah, for it. I don't know about that.
One mode of
Okay.
Murderous Cut.
Okay. I think I'll give it a
What did you say? What number did you say? My number would be like 7.
maybe not quite 8. Okay.
I don't know. I just
I mean, I'm just sort of thinking that I'm going to get the forage a lot.
like yeah, you can get to forage a lot. My thought is just that like how good is 2 mana kill target creature? Like is that actually an 8? I guess. Okay, sure, fine. Okay, this is an
Yeah,
8.
it would be.
I guess this is an
Yeah,
8 then.
it's a low one. Oh, speaking of 2 minute kill target creature.
Fell. I love this card just because of the name and the art. Fell. 1 in the black. Sorcery,
Yeah,
notably. Destroy target creature. Just straight up, it's gone. Kill it.
yeah.
This is worse than the last
I
one.
think it's worse. Yeah, I'll say 7 for this one.
Yeah. Sorcery speed, a lot worse than instant speed, but it is just efficient, just gets the job done.
Stargaze. X black black for a sorcery. Look at twice X cards from the top of your library. Put X cards from among them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. You lose X life. Okay. So for 4 mana, it's the classic. Look at 4, pick 2, lose 2, which is not very good, but it's okay. For 5 mana, you look at 6, choose or lose 4. That's pretty good. Maybe
I
a lot of
think
life though.
okay, so you cut out a bit, but you were just saying numbers, so it's probably fine.
Yeah,
Um,
I just
I think this does seem like a pretty powerful like draw three, right? Like if you pay X equals 3 and like just put 5 mana into it, like it's kind of like it's like better than Surveil 3, draw 3, lose 3, right? So
yes.
like
And I'm thinking it's even better if you pay 4. I think
I
X
don't know
equals 4
about
is like,
that. Like I feel like most often you're paying X equals 5. Sorry, X equals 3 into this, right? Like you just
and maybe you won't be able to wait until 6, but
yeah, like mostly it's like you the waiting and the sometimes you will pay X equals 4, but this card is like a very powerful very
yeah,
powerful spell for like a controlling deck. Like this can just be your top end, and like it just does what you want. But you need to
yeah.
you need to be good at not dying because like it does cost life.
I think in sealed, I'll give this like an 8 or a 9, but I'll give it a 7 in general.
I'm giving this like a high 8.
Maybe I'm allowed to then. I was worried like in draft, you can't just be losing life like this.
I don't know. You can give things minus two and make food. You have ways of like I don't know. I just think it's not. This is a very unique effect that you can like build around and like make sure.
Like I think it's not actually above rate at really any X value. It's just
Wait, no, it's.
flexible
I think it
and
is
a little bit
literally.
better than normal.
I think it is definitely above rate at x equals 3 or greater. Like
Yeah, but not by much. Like we've had very similar cards.
okay, like 5 mana surveil 3 draw 3 is just not something that we get ever.
Illusory.
Yeah, I agree. You lose 3, so that's why we get it now. But like you you know
Yeah. Wait, also I mean, there's that blue card in Eldritch.
yeah, that one was 5 mana scry 3 draw 3. That's true, and we don't get that ever.
Yeah,
Because that was very
yeah,
good, you know.
yeah. All right. I'm sticking with myself.
I'm giving this an optimistic 8, but I don't know. It's also like the fact that your 5 mana draw spell can be a 4 mana divination. You know, it's 4 mana
Yeah,
like better
yeah,
than Surveil 2 draw 2. You
right.
know, it fills your graveyard with thresholds. Nice. I don't know. Moonstone Harbinger. 2 in the black for a 1/3 bat warrior with flying and death touch. Okay, 1/3 flying death touch, not bad. Not bad. Whenever you gain or lose life during your turn, bats you control get +1/+0 and gain death touch until end of turn. This ability triggers only once each turn. Okay, so you can't go crazy with this, but you can make all your bats death touchy.
Okay, including itself.
Yeah,
Very dusty.
that seems pretty nice. It's like you can think of it kind of like a 3 mana 2/3 death touch in that like the fact that it's only one tower on blocks doesn't matter because it has death touch, right?
Okay, yeah. Um, I don't know. This card's kind of limited in how I don't know if I'm exactly going what that. Mm,
I wish it didn't
6.
specify bats you control because like it would be nice for you to like curve the
Yeah.
the lizard that like on attacks it like drains for 1 and it's a 1/3. That would be a sweet curve into this if it gave the
Yeah.
lizard +1/+0 and death touch.
Yeah. So I said 6.
It's either 5 or 6 for me. Can't quite tell.
I changed my mind on the previous chart, by the way. I'm with you on 8.
Nice. Um,
I was just scared.
you shouldn't be scared. Don't be scared. Just draw cards. Don't be scared. Um, sure. Okay, I'll join you on 6. But I'll join you on 5.5. You can choose which way my 5.5 rounds.
Stalker Warlock, 2 in a black for a 2/2 Lizard Warlock with Menace. When it enters, choose target opponent. If they lost life this turn, they reveal their hand. You choose an online card from it, and they discard that card. Otherwise, they just discard a card. Okay.
Okay, so
So they always discard something,
they always
but
discard
you
something.
get to actually choose if they lost life. Yeah.
Yeah, I
This
mean,
is
okay.
nice.
So how
Very
good
nice.
is 3 mana 2/2 menace? They discard a card. Very right. Like, 2 mana 1/1. They discard a card is often okay, and then like this, I like it's an actual body that actually synergizes with
Better.
Blizzard stuff.
Yeah.
Like much better,
Yeah.
honestly. So that like just without the Thoughtseize mode, this is like already an 8, I think. And then with the Thoughtseize mode, this becomes a 9.
Okay. I would say 7.
Sorry, 7 what?
Yeah. Agree with where it is.
Okay, you cut out. I did not hear anything that you said.
Uh, okay. Moving on.
But what did you say? What grade did you give this?
9. I
Okay.
said I am lower on it without the Thoughtseize,
Okay.
but I think you're going to get the Thoughtseize most of the time, and that's very, very good. So I said 9.
Okay, great. I'm not convinced it's not a 10 for the record, but we have to give 10 to
All
something,
right.
right? Like,
That's true. We do. Yeah. Oh, well.
yeah, I guess that's not a 10. Anyways, consumed by greed. 1 black black instant. Target opponent sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures they control. Then, if you gifted them a card, you get to return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it's like it's just like I kill their biggest thing, and you can choose to have both of you draw a card, kind of.
Yeah, but if you've got a good thing to get back, it's going to be good for you. Probably.
Probably.
Like, your good card is better than their average card.
Yeah. Also, notably, so one thing to note about these like gifted card things is like when you're gifting your opponent the card, who gets to use the card first, right? Like if you're gifting your opponent a card so that you get a card worth of value, right? And this
Yeah,
it's
I
an
mean, if it's an
instant.
instant, you get it first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You get to cast your thing on your turn before you get to use their card. So that's nice. 8.
I'll call this a 9.
Are you calling this a 9? No, I don't think it's good enough to be
Yeah.
a 9. Like, how good is one without the gift a card? It's just not that good, right? Like, it's like okay.
It's a high 7.
Yeah, so I'm giving this an 8. Like, I think the gifted card is like not that amazing. Yeah, I don't know. I'm giving it an 8. Sorry.
What was the name of? Um, okay, we can move on. That's only my turn. That sheet is fixed. Downwind Embouchure. 3 and a black for a 4/2 skunk assassin with flash. No types. When it enters, choose one. Either target creature an opponent controls gets -1/-1 until end of turn, or destroy target creature an opponent controls that was dealt damage this turn. Okay. So this was like in Ikoria without the -1/-1 mode. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe some other sets too. And I like the mode, honestly.
Yeah. You get to kill lots of offspring. All the flavor in the set
Yeah.
gets weirder
Yeah.
when you think of things as like killing offspring, you know?
Yeah.
Like killing babies.
Oh, right. And this is hate for X1s,
Yeah.
sort of.
Yeah.
Mild. And I think
No,
probably they like,
this is very real hate for X1s, right? Like
yeah. I think they like didn't put much of it in the set because of Offspring and stuff. They wanted to protect the X1s, but then there's this card, which is gonna be really good. So 8.
yeah, 8. I don't think it gets to 9, but yeah, 8. Hazel's
Yeah.
Nocturne. 3 and a black, instant, return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. Each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Now this is a banger.
Well, yeah.
Instant
Nice.
speed, double raise dead with a drain attached. Wow. What are we giving this? This is like this doesn't get into 9 territory, right?
No. I was saying without the life, it would be a little overpriced, right?
Yeah. Okay, obviously without the life, like 4 mana double raise dead is overpriced. 3 mana double raise dead is like also
Yeah.
slightly overpriced. But like drain 2 is worth more than the mana, definitely. And like, you know,
Okay. To me, this is a 6 or a 7.
I'm giving this an 8.
Okay. 7 it is.
I think that like I don't know. It's really nice that your card advantage spell
You're all
like progresses the like life totals as well. You know?
sure. I'm saying you're always higher on the raised deads than I am because, well, I don't know. I am lower on them because you like often can't play them on turn. Like even on turn 4, you're often not gonna be able to cast them. So, and that limits it for me.
Yeah, I guess.
Sinister Monolith.
Speaking of card draw
3 and
spells
a
that
black
drain life.
for an artifact. At the beginning of combat on your turn, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. And you can tap, pay 2 life, sacrifice it, draw 2 cards as a sorcery. Okay, so you like wait until you need cards and then you crack.
Yeah,
And maybe even then you like cast a combat first.
so minimum, let's talk about like the minimum of what this is like the minimum of this is roughly both players lose a life, you draw 2, right? But that
Yeah, I
almost never
think
happens. Usually it's instead your opponent loses 2 and you gain your opponent loses 2 life and you draw 2 cards because
yeah.
like you play it if you just play this on curve, you let it drain on your turn and then you don't need to crack it because like on your turn 4 you don't need access to 2 more cards. And then you pass it on, they pass back to you, and then you drain them again and then you crack it, right?
Okay, I kind of like this more than the previous card, but maybe that's wrong.
I think so. Like the pay 2 life draw 2 is worse than rebuying 2 creatures. I think, right?
Well, yeah. Yeah,
Like
maybe it's asking for a lot to like wait until turn 7 or something.
yeah, but to be fair, the other one you can't cast on turn 4 either.
Yeah, never mind. This is worse than the other one.
I think it's still quite
It's so
good
slow.
though. Wait, it's not that slow.
I'm willing to give it a 7 again if you want.
I'm going to give it a 7, but like I just think there's not that much difference between 7 and 8.
Yeah.
Wix Patrol.
Wix Patrol.
By the way,
Yep.
note on the last thing. That's one of the few things that's good with the white talent, the thing that like reanimates a non-creature, non-land permanent.
Yeah, sure.
Anyways,
Yeah, actually, it's very good.
Wix Patrol, 4 black for a 5/3 rat warlock. When it enters, mill 3 cards. When you do, target creature an opponent controls gets -X until end of turn, where X is the greatest mana value among cards in your graveyard.
So you get to choose what to target after you mill.
Yes. Yeah, you don't have to guess as to like well,
Yeah.
what's in your graveyard.
It still might be a little bit of a gamble, though.
Yeah. I mean, something Catoblepas.
Yeah. That was a 4/2, right?
No, that was a 3/2.
Oh, wow.
No,
Wow.
I think Catoblepas was like more consistently like giving things -X, like for a large
Sure.
X. His devotion to black, I think, might be slightly more consistent. It depends on the how your deck is built, basically, right?
I think this card is good.
Yeah, I think
I
this card is
think
very good.
X can easily be like 4, so.
Yeah.
Uh,
If your opponent unwisely decides to kill this in response to the trigger, then X is at least 6.
yeah, exactly. So I'll give it a 9, maybe.
Yeah, I think 9. Like it's too expensive to be like a 10, but like it is very much
Yeah.
a like I don't know, 5/3 is
Yeah.
huge, you know.
All right. Husk Burster Swarm. 7 and a black for a 6/6 elemental insect that costs 1 less to cast for each creature card you own in exile and in your graveyard with Menace and Death Touch. Okay. So I could probably get like 3 creature cards by turn 6 or something. And then it's a 5-drop. Pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, I guess 6/6 Menace Death Touch is like just large. Yeah, okay. I believe it. Uh, this reminds me of the card from DMU, right? Was that a 5/5 Death Touch or something?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it also doesn't count exile.
Oh, yeah. This counts exile, so like you can forage
Yeah.
and such, mostly forage.
Yeah. Or it just doesn't do about it. If there was greater hate.
Yeah, I guess it's nice. How nice? Is like an 8 kind of nice?
Um,
7 kind of nice?
Probably just 7.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
you
think
can have a
so.
lot of enough. No, it would be better. Like maybe there's a deck that's actually going to be casting this for 1 mana
Yeah, I guess
in
like
a
some of
reasonable
the
time
question is
frame.
like how easy is it to
Probably
kill
not.
with this? Like how much like just like kill a 6/6 man death touch is there, right? Like I guess
Maybe.
that's the like failure point.
Yeah. Okay, I think 7's very fair.
Yeah,
That what
sounds
you
fine.
said. Yeah.
Also, as we finish the black uncommon, shout outs to the Raiders from Hidology Magic. Thank you for the
Oh,
raid.
and now it's time for a break, right?
Oh yeah, sorry. I guess this is a somewhat inopportune
Right.
time to raid, given that I need to go move my laundry now. I almost forgot about that. But yeah, what Julian, keep our raiders entertained with I don't know, talking about the averages or something.
Right. Okay.
I'll be right back.
Okay. So for the black uncommons, they got, for me, they were the highest score yet. For Jason, they were still a little bit worse than the white uncommons at 6.88 for me, 6.94 for Jason. And black overall, we both have it as better than blue and worse than white. And you're
Okay, I'm back. Took a bit longer than expected because the elevator was a bit slow. Ready for red? Julian, are you there? Uh, it's possible the internet is glitching out again, unfortunately. Hmm. Well, only the best quality streams here. Are we back?
Yeah.
Okay, at least heard you say something.
Hello? Yeah, I'm here.
Sorry. Only the best quality here on this on this Switch channel. Anyways, okay, so red cards. Rock Face Village. It was the red land of the cycle. Taps for colorless, taps for red for creature spells. It has red tap. Target lizard, mouse, otter, or raccoon you control gets +1/+0 and gains haste until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty
This works like the
nice.
blue one.
Yeah, it's pretty nice at like, giving you like helping you top deck things. Oh, also notably,
Yeah, I think.
this might be the best one because it triggers Valiant,
Oh, that's true. Wow.
right?
Yeah, I
Like
didn't realize that.
this is
Even
just a
and you can do
repeatable.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, you don't even need to actually need haste. You can just get it +1/+0. Okay, yeah.
yeah. Wow, this one seems kind of good.
I'm still only gonna say a 7 though.
I
So
really want to say 8. I really want to say 8.
like, are you gonna tell me this is actually significantly better than the Involving Wilds card, the Haven? It's not significantly better than that. It costs
I
2
guess I guess
mana.
I'm not taking this early. Okay, 7.
Yeah,
But it's so
yeah.
powerful in the mouse deck.
Heartfire. Yeah. Heartfire Hero. Single red for a 1/1 mouse soldier is Valiant. Whenever it becomes a target of a spell or ability you control the first time this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Is me. And when it dies, it deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. Okay, wow. So, I mean, very easy to draw this to a 2/2, and that's already plenty. And it's gonna get to a 3/3 and a 4/4 and just be insane.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is it maybe an 8?
I think an 8 is about right. Like, there are
Yeah,
some draws where it'll look really insane, but also some where, like, you do need,
yeah.
like, to be able to Valiant it, which is not trivial, but
It's still a bad top deck. It's still,
yeah.
I don't know, small.
Uh, Blacksmith's
Oh,
Talent.
there's another set.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Red for a class that ETB create a colorless equipment with equipped creature gets +1/+1 and equip 2. So not an amazing equipment by all means, right? Like usually we see like 1 mana equipment that
Yeah,
equip for +1/+, 1 mana for +1/+1, but equip for 2 is a lot different than equip for 1. However, you get more.
except
Um,
you're not gonna equip for 2. You're gonna equip for 3.
Yeah, yeah. You pay 3 mana, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, attach target equipment you control to up to 1 target creature you control. So this just lets you. This just like you do need the equipment to still be around, but like this made an equipment for you, so probably it will. And then you pay 3 mana once, and then every turn you get a free equip. So that gives you a free Valiant
Yeah,
trigger every turn. So four
yeah.
mana for a free Valiant trigger every turn, along with the like +1/+1, and
And
then
even if it's already equipped to the creature you want, you can still target again, right?
yes, yes. You can just
Yeah,
target. You can target whatever
yeah,
creature. Notably, the equipment will end up on the creature. So like you can't have you can't target a Valiant creature and also keep the equipment on something else that you wanted it on.
yeah,
But this is probably
yeah,
fine enough. Um,
yeah.
3 in a red is the final level up to level 3. that has during your turn, equipped creatures you control have double strike and haste. That is a beating.
Yeah.
Like,
This is by far the best class we've had.
yeah. I
Or the
mean,
other three.
to be fair, it doesn't have that much competition, and it will soon have
Yeah.
very tough competition with the green class. But
All right. All right.
anyways, this card is really good, really nice, right? If you have Valiant stuff.
Yeah.
It's not that great if you don't have
Yes.
Valiant stuff.
Even if you don't, it's almost playable, I think. It's like 4 mana for free equipment.
4 mana
Like
for
one
like
which gets moved.
moving around +1/+1 equipment. I don't think
Yeah,
that's. I think that's overcosted.
it is a
Even as
little
one
bit.
plus three.
It's a little bit overcosted, and then you also have level 3, and so it's kind of borderline good enough. Anyway, I want to call it a 6. That's maybe ambitious.
I was gonna at least give it a 6.
Okay, great.
I think 6 is the right
You might
price.
be,
Like,
in general, more enthusiastic about Valiant than I am, but
yeah, like,
that's also why I'm giving it a 6. I would
yeah.
not give it a 6 for this
I think this card is a card that is like
stuff.
hard to grade because it like it's so much better in the
Yeah,
Valiant deck than literally any other deck, right?
yeah.
So
The other thing is that if they destroy your equipment, this card doesn't do anything anymore.
that is true.
You probably don't have more equipment. So it is a little bit silly like that. But I
Uh,
guess it's good in multiples, sort of.
anyways, next one.
Yeah, Brazen Collector is 1 red for a 2/1 Raccoon Rogue with first strike. Whenever it attacks, add a red. Until end of turn, you don't lose this mana at steps and phases. That's good, otherwise I would not be able to spend that mana. Um,
I mean, it's pretty good. Like, again, always first strike. You know, two
yeah,
mana, 2/1 first strike has been
yeah,
playable in the past, and also it just like ramps you. You know, it lets you expend 4 pretty quickly.
this is very good.
Yeah,
Is
like,
it an 8 or is it a
uh,
7?
it's only a 7, I think.
You think it'll like stop being able to attack?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
I
think.
don't know. It dies to things like I don't know. 2/1 first strike is
Yeah,
not
I
that
agree.
good of a body, you know. Coruscation Mage. 1 in red for a 2/2 Otter Wizard with Offspring 2. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. Just like pings your opponent quite a bit. So you know, this card does remind me of the Lizard, which I gave a really low grade. The like 2 mana 2/1 that like when it dies deals 1 damage. Target player. And then like you can offspring it for 2.
Oh, yeah, but that one I liked.
Okay, that one I didn't like, but this one I do like because like I think that this deals a lot of damage, right?
It does, yes. Wow. Wait, hold on. So you pay 4 mana, you get a 2/2 and a 1/1 that just doubled zap every time. Wow, this is great. This might be a 9.
I don't think it's that high because like 2/2 and a 1/1 just like is the thing again of like, are you trading it? Like you're not really trading it, right? So like, or like if you're
No,
trading,
but
it's below rate, right? And
I mean, I think it's better than like getting a 3/2 and a 2/1.
no, because it doesn't impact the board, right? Like it's like probably better. You want it to be better, but like there are some times where it's definitely worse, like a lot worse, right? Like if you're being attacked,
With a 3/3, yeah, sure. You only paid 4 mana.
4 is a lot of mana.
And like you can trade it off. I
I do like that this can be cast for only 2 mana, and I think you will cast it for only 2 mana
sometimes, yeah.
more than you might think.
Yeah, that's really good too. Like just a 2-drop would already be very good feature. And then the 4-drop, like, I can imagine just like storming off on turn 5, like zap him for 6. Sheesh.
I don't know. I'm still giving this like, what do I want to give this? An 8? 7, low 8, high 7, 7.5. You choose for me.
Okay, well, since I'm choosing 9, I'm choosing 8 for you.
This is why my grades are higher because every time I give you a 0.5, you round up.
That's not true. I've rounded them before.
Yeah, I know. I'm just teasing.
Flame Cash Gecko. 1 red for a 2/2 Lizard Warlock. When it enters, if an opponent lost life this turn, add a black and a red. Okay. 1 and a red, discard a card, draw a card. Oh, so you can just activate that many times. Whoa. Good card.
Yeah.
You can, it like actually gives you a way to use your Rakdos mana.
Yeah, yeah. It
Wait,
makes it so
also, are
that
you allowed to play this in your mono red commander deck?
no, you are not allowed to play this in your mono red commander deck. I'm sorry for
Disappointing.
all. I'm sorry for all your mono red commander dreams.
You know I had so many. Anyway, um, huh. I mean, it's not. I'm very willing to play it on turn 2, but then it's not being great. But I can easily play it on turn 3 and have it be just free. It also plays 3 drop.
I mean, you could play it on turn 2 and have it be free too, right? Like you can,
I
you're
don't have a
allowed
one
to.
drop.
You
I've
don't have one drop. You
never
never have one
played a
drop.
one drop in my life.
You've never played
Not
a
a
one
single
drop in
time.
your life. Okay, okay,
Correct.
understandable. Then you probably will like this card slightly less, but
Yeah. Yeah. All right. What do I want to call it? Probably an 8.
I agree with 8. Maybe it's a 9. I don't know. Like it like has a lot of small edges, you know, like you can like loot away many times. Like it's a 0 mana 2/2. I don't know. It's probably still an 8, but like high 8, you know?
Zeze069 says, guys, it's just a loot, which is a good point. It's in fact not even a loot, it's a rummage. And we're freaking out saying it's amazing.
But
But that's fine.
like you get the like it's the unholy combination of like burning tree emissary and like 2/2 ETB rummage, which like you get you get
Yes.
all of that and more, or like you get a lot of stuff
Yeah.
by combining
The
those.
time when this card is actually gonna be good is when you spend the mana on another spell, not on the rummage.
Yeah.
But that's also a really nice combination. Uh I don't know, 0 mana 2/2. No, but the rummage ability is very good. It's like Goblin Picker.
Goblin Picker is pretty good. I like it better than Goblin Piker personally.
0 mana Goblin Picker?
Yeah. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know.
anyway, Chicken Leg Joe. I agree. We should definitely try and learn more from our predictions with retrospect, but it's sort of hard to evaluate what was correct because, like, just like trust the 17 land numbers. We'd have to like hindsight. Haven't played it, and that's like a lot of work. Um,
Yeah,
and
like
the sheets are probably like anyone wants to see what our track record is like.
yeah, like we're not trying to predict what the 17 lands game and hand win rate of all these cards are, right? That's not the goal, right? Personally, I don't care that much about looking back at stuff because like I'm not doing
Yeah,
my purpose in
definitely
doing
not.
this is not
But I was
like
still able to say like, but like in theory, we could learn something about like maybe we're systemically overrating a certain type of card or something.
yeah, but like
Um, but
I
I think
I
we're kind of not.
like the thing is like I already like get that feedback from like having an impression of the cards and then playing this then playing with the cards, right? Like I already get that feedback in a
Yeah,
more holistic way that doesn't care about like
exactly.
looking at numbers. Like I'm just throwing out like my purpose of doing this is to like just have looked at all of the cards in the set and have a first impression for all of them. And like I don't really care exactly what number I'm throwing out, you know? But obviously my philosophy differs from yours.
No, I mean I agree with you, but even with that, like you could still probably have a right. It doesn't have to be from before playing with the cards. You could. It's easy to forget what you saw before you play the cards. Rereading that paragraph.
That's fair. Yeah. Anyways,
Right, so it's not really about numbers.
next up,
Anyway,
Booming
moving on.
Blast. One in the red, instant. It deals 2 damage to target creature, but if you promise them a treasure, then it deals 3 damage to that owner's controller as well. Or sorry, that creature's controller, not that owner's controller. Anyways, so this is 2 mana deal 2, which is unexciting, like very unexciting, or it's 2 mana deal 2 plus deal 3 to their face, which like is a good card, but then you also give them a treasure.
Okay, but that's actually this actually works out well. Like in the early game, 2 mana deal 2, I'm actually okay with. That works. Those are 2 drop. And in the late game, I want to burn them out, and I'm happy to give them a treasure.
I'm not convinced it works out that well because like I don't know, like one of the problems with 2 mana deal 2 is that sometimes it just doesn't kill their 2 drop, right? Or like it doesn't kill the thing you want it to
Yeah,
kill.
some 2 drops are too big.
And then like
Yeah,
it's like
sometimes.
in I'm worried about the mid game situation where like this loses relevance because like the deal 2 isn't killing the thing you want, and then
And then
like
you just have to wait till the late
yeah, and
game.
then like dealing them 3 is not worth giving them a treasure sometimes, right? Like sometimes like that's not obviously a positive trade for you. Like it often will be,
it,
but like
it should eventually become a positive trade if you wait long enough.
yeah, but you have to
Most red
wait then,
decks
right? Like
will get there.
then you have to
Yeah,
wait.
yeah. Um, but I think this is not a card I'm cutting. I'm gonna
I
play
think
this in
this
my
is a
red
card
deck.
I'm giving a 4 to, so I am cutting it, yes.
Oh,
It gifts 1 treasure, it deals 2 damage, and it deals 3 damage, so I'm giving it a 4.
yeah. Border's Overflow is 1 red for an enchantment. When it enters and whenever you expend 4, put a stash counter on it. Okay. 1 red, sacrifice it. Discard your hand, then draw cards equal to the number of stash counters on it. Oh, thank you.
Well, okay, let's think about this in depth a bit, right? Okay,
It could work.
let's say you like play this on like turn 4, double spelling, so you get a counter and then immediately gets another counter, right? And then like
Fine.
next turn you expend 4 again, and you get another counter, right?
It
And
counts.
at that point, like
So that was turn 5. It has 3 counters on it now.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then on turn 6, like theoretically you could go like cast a 4 drop and then like draw 4, right?
Um, yes, hypothetically.
Like
But like,
obviously that's things
and
going
discard
very
your hand.
well, right? That
And
but like
I guess even if you top deck it, then your hand's probably empty and you can hope to just like draw 2, maybe.
yeah, it's like it's just not that hard to make this like a draw 2, right? Because you go like play a 2 drop Kraken.
That would still be a 4 mana draw 2.
Yeah, but like that's the like bad case, right? Or like the worst case is like it's a draw 1. But I don't know, it's just like
Maybe this is playable.
I think it is playable but not exciting. Is like how I think. Like this it
I'll,
reads like a 5 to me.
I'm going to say 4.
4 is the amount you expend and the amount you pay and the number of cards you draw. So that is a good
Yep.
call.
Okay. Yeah. So here's the hit.
But I'm giving it a 5.
Yeah.
Um, next up, the card we've been talking about all like every single X1 we see. Playful Shove. 1 in red for a sorcery. Deals 1 damage to any target. Draw a card. This is flick a coin without the coin. This is killing babies. As you just kill all the offspring with this. Very nice. Notably, you can target your own things. You can have this be trigger Valiant to draw a card. So like now you have a damage mark, which some of your Valiant things are X1s. Um, I mean overall I like this card. right? Like I think there are enough X1s that like this just like has value. It finishes things off. It's worse than Flick a Coin, but I don't know.
Oh, for Valiant. Okay. I was like, why would you do that? You can just target your opponent. But I like the card.
Uh, can I call it a 7?
Yes. Rabid Gnaw. 1 red for an instant. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Then it deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control.
Weird. Red bite spell. Red hunt. Wait, isn't this okay? Am I missing something? Is this not like? Oh, I guess sorry. Clear shot gives +1/+1, not +1/+0. But like,
Yeah.
this is 2 mana, all kind of a clear shot.
Yeah. I mean, the toughness was huge, but like 2 mana, it's got to be huger.
Yeah, you know.
I mean, yeah.
True is Valiant.
Weird. This is red. Okay. I mean, can I call it a 9?
Can we call it 10?
I'm not going to.
Okay, 9.
It's still like you have to have a big creature.
Yeah,
That's a big constraint. So
sure,
yeah.
9. Harnesser of Storms. 2 and a red for a 1/4 otter wizard. Whenever you cast a non-creature or otter spell, you may exile the top card of your library. Until end of turn, you may play that card. This ability triggers only once each turn. So notably, this is until end of turn, so like you only get it for this turn,
Yeah, you gotta
which
be
makes
fast.
it somewhat hard to use. Like,
Very hard.
you by definition cast a non-creature spell. So or an otter, so you spent mana.
But like hopefully you can like just find a land like that.
Yeah, yeah. Like okay, I, I feel like this draws less than one card on average. Maybe
Well,
more.
how it could stay around for a long time. It has
That's
4
fair. That's fair.
toughness.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe this is good. Maybe this is like a 7 or 8.
Yeah. I'll call it a 7.
I'm with you on 7. Like has enough awkwardnesses, but
Yeah, it's definitely an awkward card, but it also is gonna draw a card or two. Uh, Valley Rally. 2 and a red for an instant. Creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. If you promise a gift of a food, then target creature you control gains first strike until end of turn.
okay. So this is our
Okay.
trumpet blasts. But like one of our creatures like
Yeah,
really wins combat if we give them a food. I don't like this card.
me neither.
Like
But sometimes this is playable. I'll
yeah,
give it a 3.
but I think 3 is the right number. It's like
Yeah.
sometimes playable,
Bleach
but
cards are playable
yeah,
sometimes.
like your go white deck is not even red, right? Like I guess this does trigger Valiant if you gift a
Yeah,
food,
it does.
but I don't know.
Yeah. Eh.
Wildfire Howl. 1 red for a sorcery. It deals 2 damage to each creature. But if you gift a card, it instead does that and also 1 damage to any target.
Oh,
So, I mean,
not as much as I expected.
yeah, it's pretty low upside for gifting a card. Though obviously sometimes you will
Okay.
do it. Like,
So you need to be in for a pyroclasm for this
yeah,
card
yeah. You need
to
to be
work.
in for 3 mana, deal 2 to everything, and then sometimes they'll have an X3, and you're like, okay, I will give you a card to kill this X3.
Yeah, I mean, and Chad makes a good point. I'm usually into this when it's black, like the black deals with everything. I kind of think it's underrated. But in this one, I don't know how your deck looks where this is
Otters?
the right card. Okay, but don't you aren't some of them 1/1s with prowess?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. You could play a spell and then play that something. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I mean this can't be horrible because it's gotta like be backbreaking against like your opponent casting 3 mana makes 3 rabbits.
Or 5 mana
But
make a 3/2 and 2/1/1s.
yeah, exactly. So
I
certainly is
think
going to be relevant in the format. You're going
I'm
to be like,
gonna
oh, I hope they don't have Wildfire Howl.
I'm gonna give this
Um,
a 4, like a sideboard kind of 4.
yeah, yeah. Bramble Guard Captain. 3 and a red for a 2/3 mouse soldier. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gets +X+0 until end of turn, where X is Bramble Guard Captain's power.
Okay,
So it can target itself,
that's true.
and it triggers Valiant for free.
Triggers Valiant for free. That's always
And if
good.
you buff it, then it buffs even more.
Is this Combat Professor? Has Combat Professor been called?
Not by me, maybe, but you might have just called it.
I think this is good. I don't think it's like. I think it's like slightly clunky enough to like be not higher than a 7, but I like 7.
I might even say 6. But maybe I'm missing something.
I,
Like
I
4
keep
mana
seeing
four
these
three.
Valiant
All right.
cards and being like, oh wow, I get to trigger my Valiant.
Yeah, you do keep saying that. Um,
I didn't expect to be on this Valiant hill. Like I like Squirrels a lot more, but you know.
so like
Okay, so
I feel like we've almost.
you cut out again.
I was saying I feel like we have more Valiant enablers than payoffs almost.
I agree. I agree. We have more payoffs than enablers than payoffs. Um, like I don't know. I guess like this makes me retroactively higher on the 2 mana 3/1 because like it's now seeming like it's much easier for that to just be a 3/3 consistently. Like the Valiant 3/1.
That was a common.
Yeah.
That was a common. Yeah. Okay, and then if you do it with this, it will be a 5/3.
Yeah. It's pretty big.
Right?
Also notably, this,
Maybe
this
it is
says that
coming
equal
professional.
to its power. So like if you pump this, it like
Yeah.
makes your
Yeah, yeah,
other
yeah.
things even
Did
better.
that. Okay, so I'll be
I'm giving this the 7. Did you say a number? If so, it got eaten.
yeah. I did say the same number as you.
Great. Teapot Slinger. 3 and a red for a 3/4 Raccoon Warrior with Menace. Whenever you expend 4, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. Okay. Just like an aggressive expend card.
Yeah.
I don't know how much I care about this.
Yeah, like I think it's maybe you're gonna trigger twice optimistically, and then it was good, but not not a lot. I am thinking 5.
Yeah, 5. 5 is good.
Quake Tusk Boar. 3 red for a 5/5 with no types elemental boar with reach, trample, haste. Reach, trample, haste. Okay. It's like Myria's Outrider.
But I mean that one oh because it has it. Okay, I see. I see. uh yeah, I mean it's good, right? 5/5 trample haste has been good. It just has reach on top of that.
Yeah. Haste and reach are a little bit at odds, but that's okay.
I mean it's just upside.
Yeah, it's okay.
I think I'm giving this.
I'll. It might just be Eight is better, but
I did not hear you. I'm gonna give it an 8.
I said 6. It's 8.
6. I know it's
Yeah,
big. It's big.
maybe.
I don't know.
I
This
don't know. Just a 5.
Yeah, it's just a 5/5 with trample and haste. I don't know. I feel like this is the kind of
Yeah,
set for
okay.
that.
7.
Reptilian Recruiter. Hopefully as good as Imidane's Recruiter, but I don't have my hopes up, I guess. 3 red for a 4/2 Lizard Warrior with Trample. When it enters, choose target creature. If that creature's power is 2 or less, or if you control another lizard, gain control of that creature until end of turn, untap it, and it gains haste. So this is an active treason that's on a body, but like it can only steal small things or steal anything if you have a lizard.
Yeah.
I mean, active treason is pretty powerful on a creature,
I,
right?
yeah. When it enters, it's better than your 5/5 trample haste. But then afterwards, it's just a 4/2.
It's not obviously better than your 5/5 trample haste.
On average, I think it is.
Yeah, sure.
Um, so there's no way to sacrifice whatever you take.
Yeah, there's not really steal and sack.
Especially you paid 5 mana. Yeah.
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 This is a weird one.
I,
Can I call it a 6? I want to
I,
call it a 6.
yeah, me too. Okay,
Okay.
that's
What's our red average?
where does red slot in? All right. Red uncommons. I have 6.47. You have 6.41. So I was actually higher on the red cards than you. And then relative to the other colors, I have red as behind white and black in terms of uncommons, and so do you. So the same relative order there.
Okay.
But ahead of the blue still in last. And then the overall colors, so ignoring green, I have. We both have white as the best color so far.
Okay. Unsurprising.
And then for me, black and red are tied, but for you, black is a little bit higher. And we both have blue in fourth place.
Okay. I'm expecting green to be ahead of the pack here.
Okay, so on the commons, green was already ahead for you, but it's behind white for me.
I don't know how good the green uncommons are, but like I don't know, something's got to get a 10, and we're running out of time.
Oh, well, we might have to go back and
Sure. Okay, well, speaking of green, shall I wanna?
the
Okay, I'm gonna get some water real quick.
previous ones. Yeah,
Just like 5 seconds.
me too.
Okay, and we're back. Well, I got it started with the green land.
Yep. Okay, Oak Hollow Village is a land that taps for colorless or green but only for creatures. And you can pay a green, tap it, and put a +1/+1 counter on each frog, rabbit, raccoon, or squirrel you control that enters the battlefield this turn. Okay. Probably worse than the red one.
I think definitely worse than the red one.
Yeah.
Like the red one has
But probably,
synergies with Valiant, and the red one and like haste is really impactful sometimes.
but is it enough better than the blue one to still be a set?
I think so.
I mean, green also might be pretty creature heavy.
Okay. Consider the following. On turn 5, you cast make 3/1/1s and then you tap this. This doesn't say non-token. Very nice.
Okay. I'm gonna give it a 7. I can't hear you what you're saying.
Oh, you can't hear what I'm
But
saying? Okay. What I was saying was imagine on turn 5, you cast make 3/1/1s, and then activate this.
oh my gosh, that is a white card. But that is very good.
Yeah.
Um,
Or
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like green is also like the
you might
green
have
that
extra mana.
yeah, that most will have extra mana.
Like you could have 7 mana and play the hybrid thing that makes 2/1/1s,
Yeah.
and then also Okay, so do you agree with
7.
7?
7, yeah.
Right.
Stocking the Pantry. Green for an enchantment. Whenever you put one or more +1/+1 counters on that creature you control, put a supply counter on Stocking the Pantry. And then you can pay 2 and remove a supply counter from it to draw a card. So basically, this is like when you make a clue every time you like put a counter on something.
Is that really happening all the time? Like I feel like 1 mana investigate twice is not even good.
Yeah, so
Yes.
how are you putting
I
counters
need
on
to be
things?
I need like 3 counters.
I don't
And
know how
also they need to be
you're.
hitting one at a time.
Yeah, I don't know how you're putting counters on things in this set. There's the
Yeah.
I guess there's the 1 mana 1/3. That's a counter or something.
I know.
There's the
I just feel
forage
like I need to figure
hybrid
this
card.
3 times and even then it's whatever.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
out.
Okay. It would be really funny if you know it would be nice if this instead of saying put a supply counter on this, it said investigate. Because then there would be an infinite combo.
I forget what
The white
in the set.
yeah, there's the white class that says whenever a non-creature non-token
Oh, yeah,
immediately I think that's an
yeah, that's true.
unbounded infinite combo where you can't stop it. So unless the white one lets you target
Unlucky.
your opponent's things, but regardless,
Okay,
that's not what it
so
says. So
I guess it's still good with the white class just because it does trigger it once,
is
then you
it
immediately get a
really?
supply counter.
I'm not convinced this is good with the white class. I don't know.
Well, the white class is horrible, right? So
Okay,
whatever.
that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Um,
All right.
two.
I kind of just want to say 2.
Yeah,
What do you think?
two.
Oh well. Bark Knuckle Boxer. 1 in green for a 3/2 Raccoon Berserker. Whenever you spend 4, Bark Knuckle Boxer gains indestructible. Oh, great.
2 mana 3/2 sometimes hard to block.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
Uh,
often hard to block.
yeah. 7 or 8. I think
Hard to
7.
say. I
Doesn't
think
have enough
7.
abilities to be more than 7.
7. Bushy Bodyguard. 1 in the green for a 2/1 Squirrel Warrior with Offspring 2. When it enters, you may forage. If you do, put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. Wow.
Oh, wait, wow.
So, like,
So,
it's pretty easy to make this a 2 mana 5/4.
4 is 3.
Or, sorry,
Whoa.
4/4/3. Yeah,
4.
4/3. 4/3. Um, okay, but,
Yeah.
but,
And then
but,
you can
but,
double forge, and it's 4 mana, 4/3 plus 3/3.
yeah, okay. Consider the following: you play Cash Grab on turn 2 or 3. You
Oh.
mill 4, you get this, and then on, and then on
Oh,
turn
it's a
4 you
squirrel. It's also a
yeah,
squirrel.
it's also a squirrel, so you definitely make the food.
Not
And then on
so.
turn 4 you just make a 4/3 and a 3/3.
Yeah. That's really good. Is it a 9?
I mean, it's at least a 9.
It has too much setup to be a 10.
It's fine. It's a 9.
Uh, 3 Tree Scribe. 1 in the green for a 2/3 Frog Druid. I'm listening. Whenever it or another creature you control leaves the battlefield without dying, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Okay, since we read that 1 drop, every single card has talked about counters.
I guess that's true.
Yeah. Um,
I don't know. I still don't want to pay
and,
one to investigate 3 times, so you know.
yeah. Oh well.
um, I mean, this card is just generically strong.
It's yeah. Maybe you can trigger it once and then it's actually pretty good.
Maybe your opponent casts the 3 mana deal 4 exile thing, and then your creature leaves the battlefield without dying.
Oh my god. Yeah, yeah,
Or they
including
banishing
itself.
light you.
It's actually a good point. Maybe it's actually very good then.
I think it's still like 8, kind of good, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I just was until I thought about that.
Okay. Okay, welcome to our first 10. Hunter's Talent. 1 in the green for a class. When it enters, target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. So it's just baseline Routed Bite. And then you pay 2 mana to level up to level 2. And you get, whenever you attack, target attacking creature gets +1/+0 and +1/+0 and gains trample on turn. So, like, you know, pretty good. It gives your big things trample always, triggers Valiant if you have that. And then finally, you can pay 4 mana. At the beginning of your end step, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. Notably, if you attacked with a 3 power creature and then gave it +1/+0 and trample, it's now a 4 power creature and triggers the draw a card in your end step. So yeah, this is bite plus like a card that you maybe wouldn't spend a card on, like 2 mana, like when you attack something gets +1/+0 and trample. But like, I mean, that
Yeah,
it's like okay, imagine like a 1 mana equipment that equips for 1 and
yeah,
gives +1/+0 trample. That's like not bad, right? And then
yeah.
you
Okay,
also
okay. I'll give it a 10. We can call it
yeah,
a
this
10.
card is a 10.
Okay, yeah. Overprotect. 1 in the green, instant. Target creature you control gets +3/+3 and gains trample, hexproof, and indestructible until end. A lot of words.
I heard you wanted your run amok to also be a protection spell.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. But didn't Run Amok was only 2 toughness?
No, you're thinking of Siege Smash. Run amok said only target attacking creatures, or target attacking creature. Siege Smash is +3/+2 trample.
I never heard of that second card, but
Oh,
you're
okay,
right.
that's an straight card.
Um, okay. Anyway, seems good. Probably just a 7 though.
Yeah, I mean this is like best possible 2 mana combat trick, really. Well, not best possible. It doesn't 2 for 1, but like for a combat trick
Yeah.
that does not inherently 2 for 1, it is quite good. Yeah, so 7. Paw Patch Formation. When in the green for an instant, choose one. Destroy target creature with flying, destroy target enchantment, or draw a card, create a food token. So you can't kill an artifact, but you can have an okay buyout. You know, cycle it, get a food.
Yeah.
Maybe the food is worth a card.
One that was modes. Food's not worth a card, but it's okay.
I mean, sometimes it can be, like if you have a good enough forage, but
I mean, I'm gonna main deck this card, I think.
yeah, probably.
Call it a 6.
Sure. Is it a 6 or is it a 5? I think it's a 5 to main deck and 6 given that you can also sideboard like copies in. I don't know.
Okay, well, you are in fact allowed to sideboard, so it can be called a 6.
5.5.
Okay, well, I'm rounding up, I guess. Peerless Recycling. 1 in a green, instant. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. If you gift a card, instead return 2 target permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand.
I mean,
Okay.
so
So the
okay.
same gift structure as the other card, the black one.
Yeah, so the tough thing is like if you don't get like this only the black one always is a divination or like or wait no the black one was the sack spell.
That
Okay.
was
That one's always a 1/1.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Or 2/2. And this one is also either a 1/1 or a 2/2. But I don't know how often you're playing like
Yeah,
regrowth, right?
right. Yeah, that's the problem.
And then
But like
yeah,
2 minute instant isn't really that bad.
okay.
Overall, this card pretty mediocre, I would
Yeah,
say.
like consider like, double raise dead, except you made it one cheaper and you gave your opponent a card. It's not a trade you usually want to make, right? So, are we calling this like
Okay.
4?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay.
Fearless recycling.
Uh, Wear down. One in the green sorcery. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. If this gift was promised, instead, so if you gift a card, instead you get to destroy 2 target artifacts or enchantments. I don't know, this is sideboard. Like, just very pure
Yeah,
sideboard.
I like it though. My least favorite experience is when I draw my disenchant and I just like have 2 targets for it. And I choose which
Cutting
one.
out again.
It's so disappointing. So I just want to kill those. So
Okay.
I approve. That probably not that often. Okay, because yeah,
Hmm.
well,
Are we back?
Jason.
Maybe? I should really figure out what is causing this issue at some point, but
It's possible it might partially be on my end. I don't really know.
it's
Computer
because
might
you're
be
in
slow or
Canada.
something.
It's because
Anyway,
you're in
I said
Canada.
2.
You said 2?
Up down from 3.
Sure,
I
sure.
am.
I'll
Yeah.
take 2.
You can't actually border as much. You just like have to
Yeah, like it takes a lot to board in a natural, like pure naturalize, right?
in your sideboard. Yeah, yeah. 1 green, 3/4 raccoon warrior. Whenever you expend 4 raccoons you control, get +1/+1 and gain vigilance until end.
Wow.
Wow. So
That's
baseline stats are great,
yeah, it's a four
and then
five
it's like
vigilance.
actually a 4/5 vigilance for 3.
Yeah. This is that's a pretty good card.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give it
probably
an
just an 8.
8 because it costs 1 green. But yeah, 8. I think pretty easily.
You would give it a 9 if it were 2 and a green.
Maybe, like quite possibly.
Okay, whatever,
Raccoons you
whatever, maybe.
control, not just like itself. All
Yeah, I
raccoons you
know.
control.
Yep.
Clifftop Lookout. 2 in the green for a 1/2 frog scout with reach. When it enters, you reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and the rest on the bottom in a random order. So you ramp, but you can't guarantee you're fixing. Like you just get your next land. I mean,
Cool.
still pretty decent. Like a 3 mana for a 1/2 reach plus a ramp. It's like better than like the normal like you kind of expect this to be a 1/1, right? But
Sure, but I guess. Man, I wish it was recross pass.
you wish what?
I wish it was recross the paths.
Ah,
I want to choose the order to go on the bottom, but they just won't let me have any fun, so it's okay.
what you want to you want another copy of Recross the Path that doesn't say Clash on it or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um,
Anyway,
I don't know, solid 8, I think. These are usually something like that.
wait. No, they're not.
Are they not?
No, not when they were just like Far Finder is not.
Yeah, but this puts it on the battlefield, and it has reach, and there's a 1/2.
Oh, right. I forgot. Okay, I got mixed up. Yeah. Um, I mean, it also this doesn't fix. Like,
Yeah,
well,
I
it
mean,
might.
it like slightly fixes, but like it doesn't fix for your splash. Certainly, not very consistently.
Mm. Okay, I'm on board with 8. It's like as good as Cultivate or something. Not really comparable. Anyway,
So after you cast
Curious
this,
Forager.
so okay, wait. After you cast the Clip Top Lookout, are you more or less has that increased, decreased, or kept the same your chance of drawing a land next turn?
Decreased. Oh wait, no, it's got the same. Sorry, I didn't read the card. Yeah, so obviously at the same.
Great.
Uh, Curious Forager. 2 and a green for a 3/2 Squirrel Druid. When Curious Forager enters, you may forage. When you do, return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand.
I mean, that's pretty good. Slightly awkward that
Yeah,
the graveyard exile part of
you need
Forge.
4 things in your hand.
Yeah,
Graveyard. Yeah,
I mean it's probably fine.
it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
And it's a squirrel for your cash.
yeah. Play turn
I
two
will give it.
cash into turn three, cast this, like just draw the best card that you milled. Like sacking the food is pretty good.
I feel like this is better than the lookout.
I
Personally,
I I think
but
so. I don't think it's like, is it? Does that make it a 9? I'm not sure. I don't think
that's what I'm
so.
not
I think it's still an 8.
sure. Yeah, it just makes me want to call the other one a 7 still.
Well, it's okay. There could be high 8s and low 8s.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it a 7. All
Hazard
right.
Root Herbalist. 2 and a green for a 1/4. Rabbit Druid. Whenever you attack, target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. If it's a token, it also gains Death Touch until end of turn. So, notably, this works with Valiant.
Okay.
Lots of random Valiant enablers and like random colors that don't necessarily care. Uh,
Yeah, and
I
it's a
mean,
1/4.
it's a 1/4.
Mm,
I want to give this like a
not blown away
5.
by this one.
Like, I think it's okay. You can put it in your deck, but it's like not exciting. 5?
Well, yeah, maybe you actually cut it fairly often. If my deck is attacking, I feel like I want to include it, right?
It's a 1/4 though. Like, I don't know. Would you play a 2/4?
Yeah,
Like, obviously it's better than a 2/4, but like,
would not play it 2/4. All right, yeah, it's a 5.
I could see it being a 4. Yeah.
Honored Dray Leader. 2 and a green for a 1/1 Squirrel Warrior with Trample. Okay. When it enters, put a +1/+1 counter on it for each other squirrel and/or food you control. Whenever another squirrel or food you control enters, put a +1 counter on it. All right. So,
Champion of the Squirrelish, except it looks into the past, kind of. It cares
uh-huh.
about food.
And the future. Yeah, okay.
I
I
think this is
see.
good. Like, okay. Imagine the following curve. Turn two.
I
It always starts with turn two cash grab, of course.
I know.
And then turn three, you play this. It's a 2/2. But then turn four, you play
Yeah.
the really good one that we saw, like uh the 4/3 plus 3/3, and then that makes this a 4/4 as well.
Uh-huh. You lost me at, and then we play the best card in the set part of that.
I don't know. I think
Oh,
this card's okay.
wait, but you did all that and you got a 3-mana 4/4.
Yeah,
It's
no,
good, but
3 mana
that's
four
not
four
breaking
trample that
anything.
will continue to grow. Like Okay.
Yeah.
Like it does have some awkwardnesses. I wish it were one bigger. If it were one bigger, I would be really ready to call it an 8.
Yes.
I think the difference of
Yes.
one
I
makes me
said I
call
want
it
to
a
call it a 6.
6.
Yeah, we said the same thing.
Great. Hive Spine Wolverine, another elemental, another typeless one. 3 green green for a 5/4 elemental Wolverine. Whenever it enters, choose one. Either you get to put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. So this could be a 6/5. It could like distribute the counter somewhere else. Or it fights target creature token. So you eat a baby. Or you naturalize. You destroy target artifact or enchantment.
Right. Solid.
It's solid. I feel like it's like somewhat similar to 5 mana 6/5 in stats. Like it's hard to get more than that because like the creature token's almost
What?
certainly going to be a 1/1, right?
But that's better than the counter.
Yeah, no,
So,
I agree. I agree. It's just like, you know, the raw stats
and
that you're
there
getting from
stuff
it.
stuff you could disenchant.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
But that's the best mode probably.
Yeah, if it's good, then it's the best mode. But like it often doesn't do anything. So I mean, sometimes you kill it food, I guess. Uh,
Is it a
I want to call it a 6. And
oh yeah, zero.
I assume that Julian is saying something about Sirkovitz pointing out something a good point. Let it settle, I guess.
Right. I said 7. What did you say?
I said 6. And what were you saying? Is you're responding to Sirkovitz's point also? What the fuck is wrong with my internet?
Hello?
Okay, you're back. But I didn't hear anything from you for the past minute other than you that you gave
Yeah.
it a
All right.
7. And I gave it a 6.
Yeah. And I said the server it's 4 green green for a elemental elk with flash, vigilance, reach, and trample. Every color gets this like keyword suit.
Can we call this a 9?
That, that plays well.
Can we just call it a 9? It plays very well.
No, come on.
What?
Don't play that well.
What?
It's 6. It's Colossal Dreadmaw, Jason. You
It
can't just give it
has
a Dreadmaw
vigilance,
9.
reach, and flash. Okay, and it's a 6/6, and then you add 3 keywords to it, you get a 9.
I really like how the flash is on different lines from the other 3 because it's like affects timing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Affects
I
casting,
think
I
this
mean.
is a 9. I don't know, like I think it's gonna be easy for you to like
No
flash this
way.
in. It expends on your opponent's
Yeah.
turn. It ambush vipers in. It just kills something and it attacks, and your opponent cannot beat this in combat unless they remove it. Like it dominates the
Yeah.
battlefield.
It's 6 mana. I will give it an 8.
I'm giving it a 9.
Okay.
Where do we fall on
So
on
that's
the
the last green
colors?
one.
Yeah, that's the last
Okay,
green
so
one.
we've got 5 more colorless ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, I've got some formatting to do. All right. Okay. Final color rankings. We both have blue at very bad. I have it at minus 5.38 normalized. You have it at minus 4.5 normalized.
Okay.
Uh, Next, we both have red in second place, or second worst. You have it at minus 2.33, but I have it at positive 0.23. So you think red is worse than I do, but it's still second worst for both. And next, we agree. Black is third. I have it at 0.32. You have it at 0.25. Again, normalized. Uh, and both of us have green in second place.
Wow.
1.71 for me, 2.66 for you. And both of us have white as the best. You're more enthusiastic than I am, though. You have 3.92 for white, and I have 3.13. But, okay, so that's all nice and good. You're going to be very happy to hear that the final average for all the cards, I have 5.8, but you have 5.98.
Yes, I did it. I hit the requisite number. You heard it here first, folks. Saying random numbers is better than trying to say correct numbers.
You
Angeline
don't
died.
say random numbers, Jason.
I agree. I
You
don't say
put some
random
thought.
numbers. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I feel like I say more random numbers than you. But
I don't know.
average card is a 6. We got there. 5.98. Okay. Well, shall we do these last five cards so that I can destroy my average somehow?
Oh, right. There's still hope. There's still hope. I should be really ambitious on these colorless
Yeah,
cards.
yeah. Okay, let's
All
see.
right.
Heirloom Epic, 1 mana for an artifact. It has 4 tap, draw a card, but the ability has Convoke. For each mana in this ability's activation cost, you may tap an untapped creature you control rather than pay its mana. Activate only as a sorcery. So unfortunately, you cannot. Like, it would be really nice if you could just pass the turn and then on their end step tap your creatures to
Yeah.
draw a card. But obviously that would be pretty good. You have to tap them proactively. How good is this? I don't like it at all.
I mean, having my creatures is a real cost. So even if this is free, I'm still like not happy to do it every turn.
Yeah.
So
Okay, how
meh.
how how happy are you if you go like turn 1 play this and then turn 2 play a creature and then turn 3 play like 3/1/1s and then tap them to draw a card and then the next turn like I don't know like play a creature and then like tap it and the 3/1/1s to draw a card. I think that's pretty bad, right? And that's like the best
I mean,
case.
I think that was okay, but yeah, that was the best case. All right. So unfortunately, I can't give it more than a 2.
Yeah, 2. Oh,
All right. We've got short bow, 2 mana artifact equipment. Oh, we've been waiting for this one all the whole review. Short bow. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has vigilance and reach. Equip 1. Awesome. That's really good.
yeah. I'm giving this at least an 8. I'm inclined to say
Yeah.
9.
Uh, Colorless.
Vigilance and
Yeah.
reach. Vigilance and
Yeah. I mean,
reach.
we were talking about this card for like Valiant stuff, but this is just great regardless.
Yeah. Obviously, this is like even better in the Valiant deck. You just like pay 1 to act for each of your like Valiant
Yeah.
triggers.
Yep. So I will say 9 if you want to say
Great. I'm
well.
saying 9. Patchwork Banner. 3 mana for an artifact. As it enters, choose a creature type. Creatures you control of the chosen type get +1/+1, and you can tap it for a mana of any color. So it's your manalith. I think this is a pretty good manalith. Like, it's not hard for like. Okay. Think of
Yeah.
it like this. You know the card from Neon Dynasty that's or like I don't know the like green and land enchantment that's like enchant land and like when it enters put a counter on something, right? Like if you just choose one of the
Sure.
creature types you have in play, this is kind of like
Yeah.
that, right? It's a 3 mana ramp spell that gives you like a +1/+1 buff, right?
I'm happy to imagine this card is like buffing half of my creatures or something.
Yeah,
That's like probably what it is.
yeah. Like, and I was just
And
describing the baseline of like,
that's
you
plenty
buff
of
one card.
upside
Yeah.
on the manaless. Like manaless are better than the land enchantments attack right away, no matter what.
I mean, it depends. Like sometimes the land enchantments double fix, which like actually can matter.
Yeah,
I've
whatever.
done some silly stuff.
Ignoring.
I think this is not as good as the banner from Eldraine because the banner from Eldraine like hit a whole color, and Eldraine was like a
Ignoring other
monocolor set. But
banner from Eldred, but better. Yeah, that one was like +1/+0 for a color or something.
no, I think the banner is better because like Eldraine was like a monocolor set. Like all of your creatures were going to be like either colorless or that color. So, but like I don't know. Either way, I want to give this like a 7.
Did you hit a number?
I said the number 7.
Okay, great. Yeah,
Well,
me
I guess you
too.
can't see me. I guess you can't see my fingers actually, because our setup is very
Three
different.
mana. Yeah, yeah. This whole time, yeah, I have not seen you. All right, we got a vehicle, 3 mana vehicle, Tangle Tumbler, 6/6 with Vigilance. Doesn't have a true ability. It has tap 2 untapped tokens you control to have it become an artifact creature until end of turn. And it has 3 and tap it to put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. You can activate even if it's, summoning sick, even if it's not a creature.
You can't activate if it's
Oh,
both a creature and something sick though, which
yeah,
usually does not
I
come up.
hope you could. Yeah, I guess that could technically come up, but anyway. So 2 untapped tokens. So foods count.
Yes,
Huh.
offspring counts.
Yeah, I mean the food are really what you want to do because it's just free to tap those. That doesn't.
Yeah,
That's not a real cost.
yeah.
Um,
It's a weird one.
yeah.
6/6 is big though. Like, if you just play this and have 2 food, like your opponent can't attack into it usually, you know?
Yeah.
Or
Well,
like,
and the dream is to have 4 food so that you can attack and block.
yeah, yeah. And then you like tap it to put a counter on something. I think this card is very strong.
So the thing is, if you don't have tokens, it has very little text.
Yes. So I'm gonna temper my strongness and say 6.
Yeah, that's a bit of a.
You cut out.
Um, yeah, I'm just thinking though. Okay, 6 is fine.
I mean, the ability is also like, even when you don't have 2 tokens, like the ability isn't that bad, right? Like, it's expensive, but like it also makes combat a nightmare, and it also triggers Valiant. Mm, yeah.
Yeah.
Our final card, Starforged Sword. So this is another equipment, though it's very expensive, so unclear if that's good for Valiant. 4 mana for an equipment with so equipped creature gets +3/+3 and loses flying, and it has equip 3. But when it enters, if you gift them a tapped fish, you get to attach it to target creature you control. So you can auto equip this by giving them a fish to get your you give your thing +3/+3 and take away flying. You know, maybe your bird wants there to be a non-flying creature. uh, I don't like this card.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
this card is pretty bad.
No, but it's definitely bad. But I didn't understand it until you mentioned that it's synergistic with the birds. That's a big deal.
Is it synergistic with words? Is it actually? I think that was a tongue-in-cheek
No,
comment.
I
Okay.
no, me too, me too. but at least it makes sense now. It's all. At least it
Yeah,
makes
yeah, yeah,
sense.
yeah.
It's even you see there's a bird in the picture.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. Shall we call it
Okay,
a two?
wait, let me think about it again. So 3-3. Oh my god, this card sucks.
Hey,
I
you
mean,
could
you
play.
can move it around.
Oh, you could play it with the red class that lets you like equip it every turn.
Oh yeah, that would be decent.
Would it be
And
decent?
eventually, if it's double strike and hits,
I'm not convinced that would be decent. I think that would be like okay. That's why I'm giving it a two and not a one.
yeah.
Oh, would you play this? Would you play the card with the gift hamster? Like, give them a 1/1. You get a you equip this to the hamster. You have a 5/6 now instead of a 2/3, and you drew a card.
Cards, but a lot of the gift cards have been either narrow or just bad, and so that also makes the gift hamster worse because like as opposed to you were comparing to Edgewell Innkeeper, but like all the adventure creatures were actually like really good cards.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not big on the gifted personally. I mean, some of the cards are great, but some of them are not.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, I believe our both of our averages went down from that from these colorless cards because there were some clunkers in there.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't have a calculator anyway.
Anyways,
Prosperity. We both have the same order of 5 colors: white, green, red, black, blue, or no, black.
do you want to end it there or take an impromptu stroll through some rares? I'd be down to end it here. All right. You also had a thing, right?
I'm not very interested in the rare. Sorry,
Okay. Well, we did hit your
I'll see them when I open them.
we did hit your desire of being done by approximately 4. So, thank you for coming on. Thank you everyone for watching. Another set review done. This time I feel like I feel like I've converged more towards what you want me to say per numbers, well, which is a shame.
Yeah,
Um,
that's one way of putting it. But yes, you're doing a good job.
to be fair, like I'm not that excited for this set. I feel like I was not. Like just looking at the set,
Oh,
there isn't anything that like really jumped. There was no like I don't know like um case file auditors for me to like be like really excited for in an unhinged way.
it
But
is a bit more on rails. I personally don't mind that. I think I like all the typal themes.
mhm. That makes one of us. Why is my where's
Yeah,
my mouse? Have I mentioned how much I hate Windows? Is anyone streaming? Probably someone's streaming for me to raid. Do you want to plug yourself?
no, no, thank you.
Okay. And is there anyone to raid? I don't like see anyone that I recognize. Oh, I guess Amazonian? Very different thing, playing Brawl, but sure. Ginky is plugging you for you. But anyways, thank you all for watching. I don't know how much I'll stream this set. I have no idea what my plans for this set are. Like, I don't need to do it. Like, it's not in any like big tournaments or anything, so I don't know how much I need to prepare for it. But I'll probably be around at least. Yeah, you can check out various of my content at various places. And yeah, thank you as always for coming on, Julian. Sorry about the internet being. Sorry about the technical difficulties in general. Uh, but we got through it. Bye.
Thanks for having me again.